Howdy, howdy. I guess hello, hello. Nada. It's getting there though. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me now? Joe? Right on. Now let's see if I can figure out how to get the link up again. Okay, I'm back again. Here we go now. Hmm. I'm trying both. It's not easy. It's got me crazy. I think I can figure it out here though. I think so. Hope everybody's doing okay. Having internet trouble. Getting there though. I might better. I'm getting closer. It might be dangerous. Okay. We'll fix that too. Is that any louder? That ain't. Well, I'm getting closer. It's hard to say something. Well, pretty. Hey, women, you guys just talk amongst yourselves. Hey, Scarborough and Shanna and Parkway. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get this the link up here so I can figure out how to do it. What's up, people? I'm new to this crap. If I can get this in. I love it. One more time. Okay, can yeah hear me now? I guess. Anybody wants to come on up? Come on up. Can you hear me now? Okay, can you hear me? I'm pushing buttons. Yeah, you can hear me. I see it up there. Somebody come up here and talk. So I ain't got to do this all by myself. 5 by 5. What's that mean? Oh, okay. We got 5 minutes here. We go. I do push people's buttons sometimes, but most of them need it. So that is good. Look at the Sasquatch on the screen. Okay, here we go. Anna, boom, howdy. Workway. Ryan Cube. We're getting there now. Parkway. Vegan, Parkway. Vegan, vegan. Look out, people. Vegan. Good. Well, in that case, let me see if I can figure out something to excite everybody with. I like the phone a lot better than the laptop. Well, boomer. No big plans for this old people on the weekend, huh? Well, I shall be right back. All right, I'm back already, man. That was quick, wasn't it? What do you think of that picture up there on the cover? Oh, it's not? Well, that's just fine and dandy. Let me try to figure it out again. Hmm. Well, looky there. I think somebody figured it out. It says StreamYard on it this time. It better be StreamYard. Whoop whoop. Come on up, Shanna. Getting closer. I should get a notification there whenever you jump in the back, or if that stream works. Not yet. Let me know if that works. I see my mop. While didn't work, huh? Well, what's going on here? Go do that. We had crazy clouds here. I'm gonna upload here in a little bit. Some poofy cotton ball looking suckers. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. I know
How you
mine
doing?
is this poster behind me that says "I want to believe." My son gave that to me because I used to be a huge X-Files
Oh
fan.
yeah, yeah, I know. That was
Now I'm
another
like,
bubble that got bursted, right?
right. I still believe in Sasquatch though.
Yeah. I go in a lot of chats, and people don't like me, and they just ignore me, and I tell them I'm the same thing as Sasquatch. I'm transparent, and no one believes in me.
I saw you in I don't remember whose stream it was. It was
I miss you. I put headphones on.
it was Tim or no, what was it? I don't know. Brian stayed, but he was in there.
Yep.
You're like, that was a really good live stream they did though, because I liked how that guy that they were talking to, Carla's son, that
Yeah.
that
I
he,
do that all the time with people. I just start asking them questions, don't even tell them why.
yeah,
And the
and he was
depends works, and Luke, all the good ones work, and they just look at you like, "What are you talking about?"
yeah, he was so Mandela affected and had no idea, it was like he was like, man.
I always
But
ask
he
people what's the name of adult diaper, and they always say depends first thing. And I said, no,
depends.
I tell them you're wrong, and they go, no, I'm not. I go, yeah, don't have an S on it.
And everybody's like, well, that's not a big deal. It's just a plural. It's an S. We make mistakes like that all the time. Well, why do we all make the same mistake, like on everything? It's,
Yeah, and especially the Star Wars, Luke, I am your father. I waited outside the line at the mall to see that movie when I was in high school or whatever.
I did not, but I'm kind of like Brian on that one because I can see maybe it was Luke. No, I am your father.
Yeah, but
Possibly.
I just remember it, Luke, I'm your father, especially Chris Farley,
I
when he's
did
doing
too.
it in the
I remember
fan.
that too. Yes.
And James Earl Jones and all that. There's so much residue from it that, no one's going to
Yeah.
say it.
Even the toy, does it, like you said. But
Yeah. And like
I,
Bragg's apple cider vinegar, it was Bragg's.
yeah, that's always been brag. That's never been brag. Brag.
No.
That makes us. It's like what?
And
Uh,
the Bible's the one that's the one that gets me, all the Bible stuff.
yeah, the Bible one. I can't remember where it is now, but I think it's in Second Kings. I don't remember where, but it says planets now. Did you know that?
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
And you know,
the couch thing, and the lion and the lamb. That one there is for sure. My dad was a preacher. I know that stuff.
the bottles, the bottles instead of wineskins too. That's a big one for me.
And somebody there was something about it says beat me off or beat off or something in there, and I was like, what?
What?
Yeah,
Well,
some scripture.
the women grinding too instead of being at the grindstone. That's all changed. I haven't actually looked that one up, but I've heard people talk about it. The men in the fields and the women at the grindstone. That's changed.
And something about the trespassing, trespasses or something about the Lord's Prayer. Or
Apparently, there's a couple of changes in the Lord's Prayer. The trespassers one is now debtors. I can't remember the other one, but there's another one. And can I read you a scripture real quick?
you can do whatever you want.
Okay, I read this the other night. I think to China, not the country.
Yeah. That's
But
good.
it's John chapter. Yeah, I gotta get to it, but John
I ain't
chapter
got no hurry.
John chapter 14, verse 26. Okay, and this is from the King James version, and I think this is important to people like us that do see the Mandela effect changing
Yeah.
things.
Oh yeah.
This scripture is very important to me. It's very important to my heart and my soul. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to remembrance. To me, that's
Yeah.
whatsoever I said unto you. In other words, whatever Jesus spoke, the Holy Spirit is going to be bringing that to our remembrance. All
Right.
who accept Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Oh, they're trying to make us doubt our own memory.
I agree, and I think it has a lot to do with the Great Deception. I think
Yeah, and I
it's
think if
all.
they do it long enough, they'll take Jesus out of the Bible if they get a chance.
Uh-huh. But the thing is, we will still know.
Exactly. And then the people that won't will be the ones after us.
Well, that's why it says that there will come a time where there will be a great famine in the world of the Word. The Word.
Exact.
There will be
Yeah.
a famine, and it's
Yeah.
upon us. That's why I love that movie, The Book of Eli. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, I love that movie too. That's a good movie.
And because we will be, he was a walking Bible.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we should be that too. And I try, man. I have a pretty bad memory, but I think that we have to depend on the Holy Spirit to bring the remembrance to us.
Yeah, and
And
keep it in
and
us so we don't forget.
because I know there's been times in my life where somebody came at me with something that I wasn't really sure what to tell them, and out of the blue, oh, out of the blue,
Yeah.
oh, don't, this I had a scripture to tell them. I couldn't tell them where it was, but the words from the Bible were in my mouth coming out to this person, you know,
Yeah.
because it's in my heart. I know it. I've read the Bible, but not everybody has that.
Yeah. I was raised that way.
I was too. My dad was not a preacher. He preached to us as children, but he
Right.
he was a farmer, and he homeschooled us. My sister is the oldest. She graduated from homeschool, so they raised us in a very backwoodsy way.
Yeah. I was raised with the fear of God. God's always watching, so you just didn't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah, same here. And a healthy fear, not like, oh, I'm scared of
Yeah.
God. You had a
It's keeping
respect.
you in check. That.
I call it a healthy respect because perfect love, which God is, drives out all fear. So
Oh
when
yeah. When you're
so many
filled with the
people,
Holy Spirit, you have no fear and you're happy.
yes, but see, like, you know, a lot of people misunderstand when you say fear God. They think that they're like, well, why would you fear your God? it's not fear in the sense of fear. It's about reverence and respect.
Yeah,
You know, so,
exactly. Like they used to do your elders, that's a given. You should do that without even thinking about it. But now people don't care. It's weird. The world's changed so much.
mhm. And
I remember when girls wore dresses.
yeah, I know. I am always been a tomboy. I hate dresses, but
Yeah. But I mean,
I really
there was girls that wore dresses, and there's girls that, like you said, were tomboy. They went out and hauled hay and kicked it with you and stuff like that.
that's what I was. I took out a couple of gates hauling hay because I wasn't used to the long ass trailers, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely a country girl.
Well, it's changed just since I was in high school. We used to go to the girls' basketball games to have a laugh because the score would be like 10-2, or because there's only like one or two girls in the whole place that could play because girls just didn't care about basketball then.
Mhm.
There was more
Yeah,
important things like getting married and making your kids grow up good.
right. Well, and I was not homeschooled my whole life. I started public school in fourth grade, and I played tennis. I ran cross country. I played basketball.
Right on.
I ran
Yeah, I
track.
played I played sports too. I got scholarship.
I
I did
was.
all.
I had scholarships, but I didn't go to college because when I walked across stage when I graduated, they said Shanna wants to be a homemaker.
Oh, I guess they were
That's what
wrong.
I. No, that's
Well,
what
you
I
are.
am.
Yeah, yeah, but I know you mean.
My husband worked really hard in our early life, and I was able to stay home and raise my son, and I homeschooled him. And you know, he's
My ex,
turned out.
my ex never worked. She made $12,000 her whole life.
Mm. Well,
Yeah,
I work now. I clean houses for a living, but my son is 22, so I don't
yeah.
have to be
My
home to take care of him.
my youngest just turned 30. Crazy.
Hello, Valiant One. Your
They were
youngest
so
just turned 30.
yeah in prison.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did he go to? Is that too personal?
No, I don't care. I'm everything about me's public. I don't hide nothing from nobody because I don't care what people think. Uh, he
Same
uh
here.
he has three girls from three different girls, and they're all like those three girls have 13 kids from 13 different guys.
Oh, is he in jail for like not paying child support or something?
No, for like just ignorant stuff. Like first time one of the girls wouldn't give him his stereo system out of her car, and he rode on top of the roof and smashed the window out with a tire tool at Get and Go. And and then he got in trouble later, and they added it all on him.
Yeah, I got you. I feel you.
But he
Just
got
being
crazy on
young
that
and
K
sweet.
two, that K2 crap, when that was
Uh
around,
huh.
because he couldn't smoke pot because he was on probation. So he smoked that K2 for a while. And I mean, he was literally insane. And he kicked the door off the hinges with a deadbolt on it, and it makes people crazy. And
Yeah, well, we
he
all
just
know
got in a bunch of trouble.
in Florida that ate somebody's face, right?
I know. But my son, he couldn't get a break because those three girls messed with him and called the cops all the time, and he just
I'm
got
so
that
sorry.
attitude.
I'm so
You
sorry
what?
to hear that. I'm so
I
sorry
know.
to
The
hear.
last time I saw him, he pulled his sawed off shotgun on me and cocked it, and I just stuck it to my forehead, and I told him, "Go ahead, I'm ready to go. You're gonna have to live with it the rest of your life."
Right?
But
Hey,
I haven't talked to him since then.
I want to say hi to Travis in the chat and Valiant One. Uh,
Scarborough,
30,
yeah,
30 Rotten Imbecile. Hello, brother.
yeah, he's got some good people all in here. And I can see I got this laptop somebody gave me, and I got it to do this, but I'm doing it on my phone now. But I'm watching it, and it only says I have one person watching on the phone, but you can
Yeah,
see all the people.
that's cool. There's,
Yeah,
I, I'm
YouTube
not
don't like us.
Ox. I don't know Ox PMA, but
Yeah,
hello.
he's a good person too. He's in a lot of chats I go to. Like last night I walked out to Squash's house, and I was live, and I walked up to and looked in his windows and knocked on his door, and he didn't know I was coming. He came to the door with a pistol.
Dang.
I stayed there until like 3 in the morning. We did live streaming and with Casey and everybody singing, and then I walked back in the dark all the way back live too. It was a good time, drinking moonshine and smoking it up.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, I like walking at night. I'm not scared. You know what I mean?
I used to. I used to. I when the sun sets now, I generally go inside. I'm inside right now. I'm usually outside, but man, it's supposed to be like 106 here Monday or Tuesday.
It's so humid here right now. I just walked up by Walmart and got some soda and went to the Dollar Tree. And I haven't downloaded, but we had that weird sky with all the like popcorn looking skies with the weird. It looked like waves of water with pop, with the cotton balls. That weird one like that.
Mhm. I
And
know.
there was a straight line across the sunset that was, they were manipulating it. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah. I I found a new person to not today, a couple of days ago. I can't remember their last their channel name. It's Bobby something. It's Bobby something else.
Oh yeah.
And he made a testimony video about his experiences. I found it very interesting. I think
Well,
you would too. I'll
people
send
come and
you.
go on people come and go on our stuff. We go in and out of chats, and you see people, and then they unsubscribe you, and you don't know it because it's crazy how people pop
Well,
in and
they
out all the
don't.
time.
I don't think they unsubscribe from you because literally, Sasquatch, I have had to subscribe to you like 30 times.
That's what I mean. I have people that every time I go, like Jackie, every time I went to her site, I wasn't subscribed to her every single time.
But you didn't unsubscribe to her. It
No,
just
they do it.
they do it. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
I'm like, and it does it to people I watch a lot. It's not like it's
and
weird. It's
it's
weird
always
how
good
they.
people that are truthers and Christians, and
Mhm.
Hey,
What's
Julie,
up, Judy Marvin? I
Hey,
love Judy.
she lives in the same town I do too.
No way.
Julie and Squash, yeah. Julie told me about Squash months and months ago, and then I just happened to pop on that feed and ended up meeting him, and crazy.
Y'all are all gonna have to go get coffee and like do a live stream together. that
Yeah,
would be
Julie's been
super
trying to get a
fun.
hold of me and go in the woods, but it's hard to get connected with people sometimes.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Mark the
I think
Skywatcher came and saw her not too long ago.
I know that was really cool.
I didn't really. She let me know he's there, but nothing personal. But he's not my favorite.
I don't know if she did. She know you lived in the same town at that time.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been talking to her long. We're friends on Facebook and stuff too. I've been talking to her a long time.
Oh, okay.
And I got probably there's a few people that I'm friends on Facebook that I'm friends with on YouTube, so we can message directly every day or talk, and you don't have to worry about going on YouTube and doing it.
Well, I don't have Facebook. I do Hangouts. That's how
You
I
can
talk.
get
Like
Messenger though without Facebook, where you just can talk to people. That helps.
I have Messenger, but I can't use it. It wants me to sign into my Facebook.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, Born Racer? Woohoo!
What's
He's
up,
at the
Born
races.
Racer?
He's always at the races. I used to go to the races a lot when I was young. The dirt track and they had NASCAR. Well, I lived right across from me, a quarter mile from me. The track used to be in Mark Martin and uh, I can't think now. Rusty Wallace. They all used to race here. Crazy.
I don't know any of those people. I was never into the racing scene, but my husband, his dad, they and his mom were very into like drag racing. They
Oh
had
yeah,
like
John
his
Force.
dad had his dad had every kind of muscle car you could ever have. You know, every one of them. Like the last one he had was I can't remember what it was. I want to say like a Roadrunner
Oh yeah.
or something,
I had
but
a '92 Camaro RS 25th anniversary black T tops airbrush hood, and the old man hit me and totaled it.
oh,
And I had a '66 Le Mans convertible before that.
did you cry?
No, it knocked me out and broke out my T tops and spun me around, and I actually started the car and drove it home, and then walked back to the accident. I cleaned my car out, and I didn't go to the hospital or nothing. My leg was all swollen up. I don't know.
right?
I'm just not a milker.
Yeah, we don't need it. We were in a little '94 Honda Civic going down the interstate. We were driving like 70, and a truck. My husband was pulling off the road because he saw the semi coming up on our butt real quick, and he was trying to just hit the bordage, but the truck clipped us and it flipped us in front of him, and he
Wow.
pushed us down the road for about, I'm not kidding, a quarter mile like that, and it was just bam, 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 sideways, and we drove that car home.
It's like slow motion when they do it too. It's like you're moving just like one
it,
frame at a time when you're spinning around and stuff. It's wild.
it was nuts. It was so nuts. And the police came. They were like, "Y'all want an ambulance?" And we were like, "We're good." Now I look back, I'm like, "Gosh, I wish I would have got an ambulance. That could have
Yeah,
been the lawsuit."
that was the first
But
wreck I had ever been in my life when that happened to me.
mm,
Yeah,
Border Racer, have a good night.
yeah, he's probably loud there where he's at.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
trucker was probably going at least 90. At least how hard he
do,
hit us.
do you know who Nez Lover is?
I know the name.
Yeah, it's Nez Lover. She's an artist and she's a squash. She's a big footer too, and she's right now she's live. She does watercolors and painting and stuff, and it's a
Uh huh.
real kickback channel too.
I subscribe to her. I just don't go in there that often.
It's really good. I've been going a lot. And it's good time. I found another one
And,
too. A guy named Dan Anderson that plays guitar. And believe it or
yeah.
not, I didn't know you could super chat out of your Google Play. And I gave him $2 the other day. It's the first time I ever did it in my life. And then the next day I went in there. I can't even comment on his channel. And he's sharing out my he shares out my videos, but I can't even comment on his. I don't know. I don't know if a moderator blocked me or something.
I hate it when mods overstep their boundaries like that.
Well,
I'm a
I turned
really
everybody
cool
blue
mod.
because I call it Blue Channel a Blue Ranch Convention when I first because it's kind of like I don't know. It helps,
I'm
I
a good
guess,
mod
but
because I post other people's channels. I post links, and I don't. I
you're not a
only.
hater.
I'm not a hater. I'll time
Me
somebody
neither.
out.
I've done 70 shout outs. I mean, I like doing that too.
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a hater.
Yeah, and I'm a giver, not a taker.
Right.
I've always been that
Well,
way, though. You
I know both those people, Dan Anderson and Nez Lover. I just I don't generally catch them live because,
yeah.
well, Dan usually goes live in the middle of the day or
Well, he
early
goes
when
in the
I'm,
morning too, and he plays like
and
4
I'm at work.
hours.
Yeah, but I'm usually at work is why I don't ever catch him.
Yeah, I don't work, so.
Lucky yes.
Hey, I quit the slave system in 2011.
Well, I work for myself, so
Yeah, I mean, I live pretty meager. I don't
dude,
really need. I don't. All I need is boots to go in the woods. You know what I mean?
I live a very modest life. You could ask Julie that; she'll let you know.
As long as I got something to eat and some weed, I'm good.
Dirty Rotten said, "I'm a toker."
I've smoked every day since '82,
Mm, I don't
and
smoke.
it doesn't hurt your memory. I'm living proof of that, and I'm healthier than anyone I know. So all the stuff they used to tell about it, most of it is just bullshit anyway.
Oh no, I would smoke it if I didn't live in Texas, brother.
Yeah, I
Texas,
don't
if
care.
you get caught with smoke, oh my,
In Texas,
oh yeah, it's
it's a
bad.
misdemeanor, ain't it?
No,
For any amount,
uh, it's
it's
I can't remember
35
how much.
grams or less. It used to be, but now we have medical pass here.
My son was 17, and he got caught with just a couple of roaches.
Yeah.
Roaches, okay, and he got 2 years probation, and he had to pay, I think, $160 a month probation.
Well, see here,
And
if you get that, you're only on probation until you pay the fine off.
no, here you have to still do your probation, and they test you every time. And he had to do so many hours. I think it was like 20
Community.
something hours of community services. So that's ridiculous. All of that was just like, what?
Well, when I was in high school, I remember when people went to jail for one joint for like a year. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't even have a full joint. He had a couple of roaches, like he'd already smoked them, you
And
know.
here they wouldn't even do nothing here now because they don't even have any dispensaries selling anything yet. But you can get caught with weed, not get in trouble as long as you have your card and you can and you
Yeah.
know you're buying it illegally, but they don't care.
right.
It's not that big a
They,
deal anyway. People always acted like it was.
I think eventually, I think probably soon, I hope that federally they're going to make it legal.
Yeah, they're making too much money on taxes, probably more than anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be a lot more mellower place. The world's going to get fatter, though.
I just know that that whole incident with my son, it really took a toll and on his life, and
Yeah, that could make you not do something, though.
it just screwed his life up. You know,
And is he not?
Julie.
Did he quit smoking it after that?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying it. Just to get in trouble with the law, living in a small town, it just gave him further troubles because they were always stopping him here, there, and yonder. He's never got
Oh
his
yeah,
driver's license. He's been stopped probably 4 or 5 times, and he gets tickets for not having his driver's license. He gets tickets for not having insurance, for all that crap, because he just drives around. He don't care. He's like, screw y'all, screw the
yeah.
system.
I moved up here from the small town, like 15 miles away, because if something happens any time in your whole life, then the whole town remember you for that. No matter. I
Yeah,
remember when I used to go to church. There was a couple. They were Carl Plumber, and they had plumbers store on Main Street, and they sold everything, clothes, everything but food. And I remember my step grandma saying, "Oh, there's Carl Plumber. When he was 10, he stole a chicken, and he was rich now, and he owned the biggest." And I just show you how small town mentality is.
exactly. I mean, it's really bad because you'll always be remembered by that, you know.
Yeah,
And anyway, I just hate that my son has that stigma living in this little small town. I wish he could get out of it.
yeah, but there's more advantages than not probably than living, big city. You don't know anybody is, but you might go to
Oh
the
yeah,
store
I
and get
don't
killed.
move to a big city. I just want him to move to a different small town.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
he
exactly. I'm
start
living
after.
in a small town.
I've never lived in a city. I lived in Abilene, Texas, many times in my life. Since I've been married, we have moved about 30 times. We've been in this
Well,
house we're in
the
now
my
for
the
about
most I
30
ever
years.
paid was a house payment, and the most I ever paid in my life was 300 a month.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've never. Well, when I came here, I rode in a taxi once and a city bus once. I'd never rode neither one of them my whole life. I
Oh,
did it just as a, and
I've never,
I've never used a credit card either.
I haven't either. I don't even have a bank account.
I don't either. I haven't drank tap water in 30 years.
No, tap water. Ugh.
I don't
Well,
drink milk either. I've never drank milk.
I drink tap, but I have a well, so in
Yeah,
fact,
yeah. You ain't got the fluoride in there then at least.
no, yeah, I have well water, and it's like really, it's got lots of minerals in it
Oh
because
yeah,
it's like
bottled
a little.
water that has nothing in it.
I love my well water. It's
I was
yummy.
born allergic to milk, so I've never drank it. I had to drink goat's milk when I was a baby,
Wow.
and I just never
Now
liked it
my
after that.
son was allergic to milk when he was a baby. I nursed him till he was like 11 months old, and then he weaned himself, and I
Yeah.
switched him over to milk, and nope, wasn't happening.
And now they give them formula, with a wick. It don't matter how rich you are or anything, they'll give everybody wick. But I think that formula, can't be good if the government's trying to push it.
Yeah, he did not. They tried giving him that. His pediatrician wanted him to switch over to the formula because he was allergic to the milk. Well, I started giving him like almond milk and stuff like that, which he
And they got
could
coconut
take.
milk. They got all kinds of stuff now.
Yeah, and that was good. He liked that.
I love playing music, but I
Because
don't want to.
Aaron said, "I bless my tap water with my voice when I can't get good water." Yeah, well, I say this: all things. I think that's why we're taught to pray over our food. All
Yeah,
things, pray and ask God to bless it to nourish your body, because even most of the food we get and we think it might be healthy is still getting palm farted. So it is a good thing to just ask God to bless the food you're about to take
I
into
believe
your
that
body.
too, because the word's living, and I mean, I believe in the law of attraction. You can change things just by thinking. Like, I'm not wake up and all them. That I go sometimes, but if you sit there and get that many people concentrating on that bad stuff, you can make it happen just as easy as not. You talk
Yeah.
about it long
So
enough,
why
it's
can't
going to happen.
why can't you make the good stuff happen then? Right?
That's why I try to just stay positive. If you stay in a positive circle, I mean, what can go wrong?
Exactly. I know
I
I
tell
watch a
people
lot of
to
negative guys.
surround yourself with good people and be a mirror.
Mhm. Absolutely. Singing too, yeah. Sing
People
to
in
your
jail have to change their circle, and that's why they end up going back. They stay with the same people,
yeah, they don't change the circle.
and if people don't care, they just want somebody to party with. They don't care if you go back. Most people have a break from jail because once you go there, they want that money. The state does, and they figure out ways to keep you paying.
Oh yeah, because that's a huge moneymaker for our states, you guys.
Well,
Jail.
lawyers and judges own the jails. They're the ones that build them.
Mhm.
And when they get there now, they give them a tablet. They get one right off the bat. They can get cable TV and a flat screen TV in their cell.
That's nuts, man.
My son, when he went the first time, he was gone 2.5 years, and he found God again. I mean, he was doing super great. I was talking to him every day. And then when he got off the worst jail and went to this lower one, he got the TV and stuff, and I never heard from him again. And he didn't read the Bible or nothing, just from watching TV.
Wow.
I
Well,
mean,
I have
that
told
said a
people
lot.
because you know, I only work for one person that takes taxes out of my check. One
Yeah.
person pays me by check, and it's a very I make only like $6,000 to $7,000 a year, so no big deal.
Well,
And it's
a good business will lose money on paper.
yeah, so I haven't paid my filed my taxes in 3 years, and everybody freaks out when I tell them that, and I'm like, you know what? If they
Yeah, you don't
want to
have
come
to. It's
take me
not a
to
law if you
jail,
check it out.
no, it's not, and that's what I tell them, and they're like, oh yeah, well, it may not be, but they'll take you to jail. I'm like, cool, take me to jail, 3 hots and a cot,
Yeah, I
and
say, where
free
did you see that on TV?
yeah.
I love it when people say, I said it on TV.
Mhm. That's what I tell them. I'm like, okay, come and get me.
Free room
Like
and board.
exactly. That's why I said you never heard three
Yeah,
hots in a car.
exactly. Because they
Three
get
hot
there,
meals.
and my son said it's easier than life. He told me one time when he was out, he's like, I'd rather be in jail because he hadn't have to
Right.
deal with the three mamas and the child support, and they tell him when to wipe their ass and tell him when to eat.
Exactly.
They need to get the chain gangs back and start breaking some more fucking rocks, and we'll see who goes to jail.
Exactly. Jail's like the cush job. It's like
It's like high
it's
school
not.
all over again. It is.
And you get
They get their
you
little
get
cliques in there. It's what my son's hanging out with the Muslims now, so he can for protection. And
oh my
he,
gosh, that's
my son's a fighter.
crazy.
He don't take no crap. He got in a riot and he was in the hole for like 3 months. And my son's a tattoo artist. He got tattoos all over and he ain't scared of nothing. It's pretty crazy. I
I'm
mean,
a tattoo artist too. Did you know that?
no,
I'm not anymore, but I've got like 5 guns, 5 tattoo guns, and
my son was good at it too. But the last time his stuff all got stolen when he was in jail. But he does it in jail with like ashes and soap or something. I don't know.
oh no, I didn't use all that. I used the good stuff, but like my husband, he's I don't know how many tattoos he's got to be honest, but all of them. He's never been to a tattoo parlor. I gave all of his tattoos to him, and they're all really good. I posted pictures of them.
Do the colors stay in him long?
I don't do color. I only do black.
Oh, he's black. I like color stuff.
I,
When
only
I
one
want
of
something
his.
like that, I go buy a T-shirt of a skull on it.
No, most of his is kind of tribal looking tattoos
Yeah,
and lots of scriptures, Bible scriptures. So
that's good.
good clean lines though, right? And
My generation just was. I don't know what it is, but no, none of my friends have them because our grandparents would have, probably fell over dead.
right. I know when my parents found out I was doing tattoos on my husband and on my friends. They were just like, oh, good. When I came home with the eyebrow ring, my dad got out his uh he pulled his Leathermans off his side of his pants, his Leathermans, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh yeah.
He pulled it off and he came at me with my eyebrow. He's just gonna yank it out. He was kidding, of course, but
My middle daughter, she got her tongue pierced one time. I think she left it in for a week.
I've had an eyebrow ring and a lip ring both for probably close to 20 years.
Yeah, I don't. I really haven't worn an earring in a while, but I used to have 5 of them.
I don't wear either one of mine anymore. I don't even wear earrings. I don't wear necklaces. I don't
No,
wear no
when
jewelry.
everybody started doing it, and when it's not the same when it's just a few people. When everybody's doing it, then what's the point?
I stopped wearing all mine because I didn't. I I really started taking to heart some
Yeah,
scriptures, like to not
I
adorn
know.
myself
Yeah, from
and
the
stuff.
fallen angels.
For me, it was more of a religious choice that, or I don't even know if you call it religious choices. I just didn't want to be doing something that might have been
And you
my
don't want
fault.
people looking down on you for anything either. I don't. That's one reason.
Oh, I
But
didn't care
I
about
can't
that.
stand. I can't stand the gauges though. The big old. Oh, that to me is a. There's a. I
That's,
saw a guy. There's a guy that stays next door sometimes, and both of his are tore out, and they just flop like 2 legs hanging on his ear. It's so gross.
yeah, that is gross. The gauges, the big old ear loops. I never understood that. I didn't
See
do
at
that,
DRI.
but mm,
Yeah, I never was. I've always been a leader, not a follower. I mean, I make the path. I don't follow anybody down the bad road.
yeah, I was like the only person in like my family and in my friends that had any piercings. And I didn't do it because I
I pierced
thought
my
it
ear
would just be
when I was young, but
pretty, but I didn't do it to be
yeah,
different. I just wanted them. And now that I know scripture a little better, I stopped wearing all of it because, and it,
yeah. The
not because,
body's a temple. Yeah.
I just didn't want to adorn myself to bring attention to myself.
And when you're young, that's why you did it.
Yeah, when I was young, I did it to bring attention to myself. I
Yeah.
used to go to parties with
Oh,
like
yeah. I
silver
know.
eyeliner and silver eyelashes and silver lips and like go-go
I
boots.
bleached my hair red and get blonde. And had full tails and mohawks, and I had crazy hair
Oh,
always.
yeah, I did too. And your dad was a preacher, so you're probably rebelling against that,
Well,
you
no,
know.
no, I wasn't though. My dad died when I was 6, and
Mm.
my mom was pregnant and had there was 3 kids and pregnant when he died. So you know,
Oh wow.
yeah. So I wasn't like a preacher's kid, like people always say a PK. I wasn't one of those. I never got in trouble and never been in jail. I just always my family's all gone. They're all looking down on me. So that's the way I look at it.
I'm still to this day the black sheep of my family.
I didn't used to be, but my brother died a couple of years ago, and I took over his role.
that that happens, don't it?
My brother was a tattooed bouncer, hell raising, kick anybody's ass, never been whipped, and he got cancer and beat it, and then his liver give out and stuff, and he didn't care what people. And my sister, my oldest, or well, she's younger than me, but she's her realty company is the top 100 in the world. She does commercials with one of the Shark Tank ladies, and I mean,
Mm.
and when my brother died, she put a thing on Facebook about addiction and all this stuff, and I got pissed, and I found a picture of my brother flipping off, and posted it on there. Yeah, yeah, it was funny though. He would have done the same
Good.
thing.
I wanted to say goodbye to Aaron. He's leaving.
All right,
And
man, take care, dude.
remember, still love you, brother.
Yeah, after a while, you start getting the same people. You're going to chats, and you start seeing the same people everywhere, and that's good.
Yeah, I like that because
I do.
we all
I do too.
become like family.
Like Doodah Man, he's Mark. Do you know him?
Oh, I thought that was your name.
Yeah, my name's Mark, but Doodah Man, his name's Mark too.
And then we have Mark the Skywatcher, which is
Yep.
the Markster.
And there's Interesting Things is his name, Mark too.
Interesting things.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that?
I got him out like a couple years ago. Me and him started. I don't know how I found him, but we've been friends for a long time. And then got unsubscribed, and then I found him in Squatch, and it was crazy. And I finally saw him yesterday, the first time I seen him, and his voice, it just blew me away because he's a hippie, long hair. And I couldn't. And you remember Vern? The
Vernon,
cat. Yeah. Well, Vernon. He said I was the first person that ever responded to him on YouTube, and then
are you
I
talking
got him to
about?
go in all. Yeah, Vernon Daniels. I got him to go in all those chats and stuff, and he looks like the Charles Manson.
I know he so doesn't. You put a swastika on his face. He
What?
totally.
Yeah, exactly. But when I saw him, I was like, when I met him, he said I've got OC, whatever, CPD, and I'm in a
Wasn't
nursing
it
home dying. And
Charles?
I was picturing this old gray haired man with a cane. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Charles Manson the one with the swastika on his head?
I think he had one on his cheekbone or something, maybe. Or
I thought it was
I
his
don't,
forehead.
I don't know. I don't know if he had one
Anyway,
on his
I
head.
know Vernon does look like that though. He looks like that guy. I know you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. And I mean, the way he talked to me for months, I thought it was this old feeble man, And then he got on. He got his head swole up big, like couldn't fit through the door for a while. I was like, what happened? He's talking about
Yeah,
shooting people and stuff, and he got a bunch of enemies quick.
yeah, I know. And well, when he told everybody he was a Jew, but he's not your Orthodox Jew. He's a Messianic Jew, which means he believes that Jesus Christ is real, walked the earth. He
Yeah.
was born a Jew and is a Christian. So you
Well,
know,
that Israel is not the real people of God right now anymore.
no, they are not. What Israel today, because that was the whole point of when Jesus died and the temple was torn down and the cloth torn in two. All of the records of who was a Jew were destroyed. So anybody claiming to be a Jew today, they can't actually prove it. You know
And
that?
they don't show on the news how what all they do to people over there. It's unbelievable.
Now, and what the, not the, I can't think of the book right now that there's some horrific stuff in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
Especially
yeah, what is it? But
not the
the
Talmud Testament, you know.
yeah, the rabbis. I saw. I think Richie from Boston posted it again last summer, but I downloaded it. The rabbis circumcised the boys with their teeth.
Hmm.
That right there, it's like if you can't. I
That's
mean,
disgusting.
I know. I mean, how could that be right in anyone's eyes ever?
Yeah, no, that's definitely pedophilia.
Like I have friends that
That's
I've
been
learned to
kind of
bite
weird.
my tongue. That I have friends that hate Trump and want to vote for Biden, and I try to talk to them, and I can't do it because I want to tell them how dumb they are.
I don't, I don't like either one of them to be.
I don't either, but I didn't
I'm not in
vote
the
for anybody.
political field anymore. I'm done with politics. I will talk politics with people, but I don't trust politics anymore. I know now that the system's all they're gonna. Hillary and Trump were exactly the same person as far as their bloodlines. They were
It shows
removed.
them together a lot, shaking hands and stuff, don't it?
They're they're cousins, you
Oh
know.
yeah, the 13 bloodlines, they're all related. The Hollywood people,
Yeah.
all of them.
So I don't do politics anymore. But I mean, I did vote for Trump. I will admit that, but that was before I knew what I know now. Um,
Right.
I went down this backwards. Have I told you about that?
No.
You know how most people start like I don't know. Where did you start your truth rabbit holing?
Um, chemtrails and 9/11. Really, what started 9/11, but whenever I got separated, I went a year without utilities, and that's when I got deprogrammed because I didn't watch TV. And I'd get up and go wash my Camaro every morning, and I'd pretty much take a whore bath at the car wash, and I started noticing, all the planes leaving chemtrails, and we didn't have that much planes going anywhere, and it just went from there. And once you get in there, it just I call them baby truthers because you can tell by what they're watching, what stage of truth they're at.
Uh huh. Well, okay. Let me tell you, I started my journey as a flat earther and
Yeah,
had
me
to
too.
discover it. I didn't know I didn't start at chemtrails, okay? I
Yeah.
started at flat earth and then I went backwards. Most people start like with chemtrails and then they find flat earth. I started at flat earth and had to go back and learn everything else. And so
And now that you say that, I did flat Earth before chemtrails too, because I remember this guy was talking about HARP one time, and that was I was already on the flat Earth, and it was HARP was moving to chemtrails, but they all ended up. I see what you're saying though. Most people 9/11 started a lot for a lot of people too.
yeah, it did. But now, I'm not as I don't do a lot of videos like, oh my gosh, look at the sky, they're spraying. I don't do that often anymore because even if they
You,
are,
you
they've
already
been
know you
doing
can't.
it
Yeah,
so
you can't
long,
do. Well,
and that just
Admiral
puts
Byrd had chemtrails on his book cover in the 40s.
exactly. And so I've gotten past that whole point, and I just want to make people happy and try to stay away from fear and more like try to encourage people to be positive. I guess I don't know.
Me,
And find
I've been that way for the whole time, and I've made, people used to get mad at me because I'd tell them to quit fear mongering, and they've been doing it, and they still do it. They can say whatever they
I
want, but
still
when you make
do
people scared, you're
occasionally.
fear mongering.
Exactly, and I still find myself falling back into that occasionally, but not near like I used to. Used to every video I did was like, look at the skies, they're so nasty, and I still do that sometimes. But
I just did
uh,
it before I got on here.
see, it, it's hard to look up sometimes and not make that video, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it for so long that I do it all though. I mean, I just I've always been a cloud surfer, is what I call it. I've been,
Me too.
I've always looked at the
And I know
sky.
a lot of people say that like staring at the sun is sun worship. That's not true because I've been staring at the sun since I was a little kid, and
Yeah, that this isn't the back then when they called it soul, you know. And
I just
that
did it
I
because
got into the Anunnaki and the Sumerians and Nibiru for a while, and they say the crossing of the planets, the cross, and all that crap. But I like
I never.
Anunnaki, but I don't. I just it's deception. I think. I mean, I don't know. Who says Zachariah
I
Sitchin, didn't make all that shit up?
well, I never went through all that. I never did the Planet X or
Oh, I did it
Nibiru
all.
or.
I didn't. I mean, I'd rather do that than watch some movie on TV where they're I just don't like that any of that. I'd rather learn stuff, and it's
Oh,
interesting. It's kind of like
I've looked into it. I never believed it though. I never.
no,
I
yeah, I
just
didn't get
looked into
into it.
it.
I just studied it.
Like I just watched a like documentary, an hour and something long of this guy talking about giants, and I believe in giants, but I don't believe exactly how he talked about it. But it was a good.
You can get some good out of all of it. You can pick out parts that, but
Exactly.
I my theory is that I don't believe in giants because I think we're the little people. Giants were normal. We're not.
We're little.
Yeah, because the giants was Adam and Eve were like 25, 30 feet tall, and that didn't mean anything because God made everything. So that was the norm. And then whenever the Nephilim and all that, and he took all of our 1,000 years of life away and dropped the water, that's when we didn't grow. And I think we're the little people, that they used to talk about because there's titans too besides giants. I think.
The Titans that they would talk. What I think those are the ones that were like 2 miles high.
Yeah, and the trees were giant. Like the Devil's Tower was a tree, and it's not carbon based; it was silicone based. I like that those series of that.
Hmm.
Because trees
Yeah,
are
I've
all
seen that.
connected. Like they do that predict it. Like Avatar. It kind of explain the trees and all
Yeah,
the trees
they
and
sure
the woods.
do.
Their roots are all connected. People don't realize that.
You know, there's so much truth in movies. I just posted that little clip of uh, the never-ending story where the wolf is
Yeah,
talking to the boy, and he's like, "Those without hope are easy to control, and those who control have the power." And that's
exactly.
exactly what's going on in our world right now.
And people get used to it. You just get used to believing everything, and you don't even know you're doing it. they don't even realize it because you're in it. And I used to be in
Yep.
it. That's why I was in it. And that's why I can see it because I'm not in it anymore. And you can see it because I was in there with it, and I'm not now. And unless you
Yep.
get out, you'll never know you were in it.
Exactly.
I'm serious.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's a vicious cycle. And even though I
You can
don't
get
think I
sucked
can
back in any day, but not even know it sometimes.
I was going to say, I don't know if I could get sucked back in it at this point in my life, but I don't rule it out because I try to be very mindful of everything so I don't, because I think we could, even if
Yeah.
even if you are awake, you could
Yeah,
still
that's
get
why you
sucked
got to
back.
stay like you got to stay a Christian and keep. You got to stay on it and
Vigilant.
keep.
You got to stay vigilant.
Exactly. You do. And sometimes, I start feeling sorry for people and try to lower my guard and my beliefs. But and when I got older, I don't care. I don't do it. And sometimes, I tell people, pull your panties up. This ain't. You're not in daycare anymore. Quit belly aching like a little baby.
Girl panties on.
I'm telling you, because I got into the. I go through different phases on YouTube because sometimes it all gets to you, and you have brief moments of insanity. But
Mm,
I was in there with a Uber. I call them Uber tubers. I got in there with all these rideshare people when the economy shut down, and I got to be good friends with a bunch of them. But I'm finally weaning myself of them because they're I'm not going to say anything, but they wear masks and all they do. They're, I'll just leave it at that. I'm getting away from them all.
yeah, you're
I just can't.
good.
I can't do the stupid shit no more and sit back and not say anything when people are doing ignorant shit.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Hey, welcome back, Scarborough.
What's up, brother? Yeah, because like awake, like I don't know, it's a couple weeks ago or maybe a month ago now. Time flies so fast. They were talking about something, and I just said FTP. Like I didn't really literally mean fuck the police because my brother-in-law is a cop, and I used to put video systems in police cars, but it was just they were showing rights, and then they banned me for a while
I don't really
for
mind
three
being
letters.
from there because I I'm not scared to say this. I do not feel comfortable with her.
Hey, you know what? Whenever it was a long time ago, and I can't remember whose chat I was on, but it was a True Seeker, Bob. Uh, they said something about me, and the first thing she ever said about me was that the guy that goes out and films in the dark?" And I don't know. You can only make one first impression. You know what I mean?
Right?
And they all
Well,
hate each other for no reason. And then, like, I go to Bob sometimes. And even went up on the panel, and then got off and went to Wakes because I don't. I'm not. I just don't want to. It's crazy.
I don't know. There's just some people I don't feel.
When someone's
I
voice
feel really.
annoys you, there's a reason because something in your inner conscience is telling you something. Like when people
Yeah,
talk, like
there's
Fran
certain
Drescher, it's like
there's certain people that when I just get a feeling about, and I I cannot ignore that inner intuition of
it's always your gut
having
feeling's always right. Your first feeling is the one that's always right.
because I liked her for a very long time, and then I something happened. I don't even remember what, and I was just like, oh man,
That's like Brian
yeah,
Stabley. I followed him a long time ago when he was nobody, and I don't care if I share his stuff or anything, he won't talk to me. And has never said one word to me, and I've never done nothing to that dude. And it don't bother me.
he's never
Well, I guess it does bother me when you talk about it. But I don't like it when somebody don't like me. I've always been that way.
he's never talked to me either, and that's I don't care because I do like his videos. I like
Yeah,
it.
but sometimes though, I don't know. He's good. I
I
mean,
think I think he thinks he's just too big of a tail to talk to everybody, and
okay, you said it. I didn't.
I think does he think he's better than us? We're all just people trying to figure this shit out, and why can't he talk to us?
I don't like the disrespect. He just slams people like, and they're supposed to be all Christians, I just they get on that cutting people down. I just don't like that.
Oh, cool, Scarborough. I will totally check that out. Welcome back, Julie. Yeah, I know. I said it. Okay, I said it.
Hey,
Sasquatch.
I did last night too on a group. It was I'm that one. It was I'm awake or something last night, or something like that. It was it was a chat. I think it was his first one premiere. I'm awake first time or something, and he was ripping Brian
Brian who?
Stabley. He was ripping him
Oh,
on his last night on the live thing. He was ripping Brian. I guess you don't like him. He was talking. It's about the spelling. A lot of people, overspelling, make fun of people and call them illiterate hicks and shit. I spell wrong on purpose because
yeah,
AI can't. And it's like
I
if
know.
someone says
Listen,
I can't spell, I just don't go there, buddy.
me and Julie, we both like our typos are insane, and I told her that maybe that's a good thing because we know what we're saying. We can still get the point across,
And
and
people with
maybe
like
it's
minds understand what you're saying, even if you put the wrong word, they know what you mean.
exactly, and maybe we're supposed to be typoing so that we're not casting spells in our
And,
spelling.
yep. In the days of Noah, everybody spoke to each other, and that's why he separated the races. Now everybody can do that again. Everybody can talk to everybody.
Well, I don't mind calling Brian out and saying, you know what, you're not better than us. It's okay for you to talk to us, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I met Karen, by the way.
Is that the girl he went and saw?
No, Karen B.
I think I know who she is, but I don't follow her.
She's the lady that was on that panel today that we were in, and it was her and Brian there on the same screen for a while.
Yeah, I've seen her on there, but I've never went to her channel or
Well,
nothing.
I met her in person in Dallas because I went to the Flat Earth Convention in Dallas,
Oh, cool.
and she was very cold and distant. Did
Oh,
not like. Yeah, it was horrible. I was like, oh, okay, that's how you are. So
I
meeting
know
people,
because you can't tell on here how anybody is.
uh-uh.
But I
No,
tell you right
but
now, I'm no different here than I am anywhere on Facebook or everything I've ever done is public because I don't care.
same here. You can ask Julie. I am who I am always, and it's. I met a lot of people. I met this one guy. I can't. You ever heard of Just Jack?
Nope.
Well, he's like a cowboy looking preacher guy,
Yeah.
and anyway, he was actually really cool. He was there. I met Ace McLeod.
I don't know who that is either.
I met. You're not gonna like this. Okay, I can't even think
Oh,
of his name right now. I met Mark Sargent.
I don't have it. I've got nothing against him. He's never done that to me.
Well,
I,
most preachers don't like him, but I do. And he was cool. He was really cool. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" You know.
yeah,
Uh,
I like ODD and I like Flat Earth Fokker and I like the music guru. The conspiracy music. I love all his
uh,
stuff.
yeah, I can't think of this guy's name right now, but he's got the car that has it's a black like cop looking car sedan that's got YouTube on the side of it, and it's got his name and his phone number. He drives around in that car.
Uh,
He's
but really, I
he's
don't.
from
I try to follow small channels if they got
he
20
is
or
a
thirty
small
thousand.
channel.
I don't. Watch very many that are big except Richie and ODD, which he don't do much anymore.
This guy is a small channel, and he's from Florida. Anyway, I met him too. He was the first person I met when I walked in because the convention was pretty much over when I got there. Okay,
Oh
because
yeah.
I worked all week and I couldn't get down there, and I drove there because it's only like 3 hours from my house. So I just drove down there. I didn't have a ticket, and I walked right in, and everybody let me in. So it was cool.
Well, that was cool. Yeah, I've never done a. I've got offered to do a million radio shows and tons of crap. And the place where we did the documentary on Bigfoot for a few years, and then uh, well, like I don't even want to talk about it. I haven't even seen the documentary, and it's on Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? And then my buddy, where we did it for all, got murdered like 3 weeks ago, and that's
Are
why
you
I'm going.
kidding?
No, my buddy it was my area. I've been going there for 10 years with my buddy, and then I saw one of my old friends online that had holding a footprint. And him and my brother used to live together and had a business. And he's a musician. I sold him guitars for my pawn shop. Well, we started going together, and then I introduced him to a guy from Connecticut. And long story short, they pretty much I left them, and they were going to my area the whole time. And my buddy had a squatter on the land, and then like 3 weeks ago Thursday, the squatter shot him and killed him.
Oh my God. I think
And
I
his
remember you,
and this is in Branson, Branson's West,
I
which is
remember you posting a link that you lost your buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, his wife is does daycare for the church. Has never even drove a car and lives in Springfield and never even went down there. And he was taking care of his mentally challenged cousin. Is how he got the land from his aunt and uncle. And the last of my stuff I owned is in his barn, and now it's gone. Because she doesn't know about it. I don't even know how to get a hold of anyone. I don't even know what to do because it's crazy.
That sucks, man.
And yeah, and they did the documentary, and it's my area, and I found all the footprints, the castings, everything, and they didn't give me credit. And on the documentary, it says I'm a what it says stand-in actor or something like that, or something.
What the heck? Are you kidding?
No, and plus, I'm glad though because what it was they did a thing on Travel Velocity Channel or whatever, and they reenacted the camp out trip that we had, and everything they said on there was all lies. Not one part of it was true. And then the the guy that I was going with, John Morris, that owns Bass Pro, Johnny Morris, he owns the land next
No.
to this, and they were trying to get him to sponsor us, to do all our stuff. And that dude wanted me to go down there and hide in the woods and throw rocks at him and whoop to try to get Johnny Morris to sponsor us. And after he told me that, I quit going with him. Yeah.
Wanted to make a fake documentary. That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
he wanted me to fake it so Johnny Morris would give us tons of money to sponsor everything, and I couldn't. After he told me that, I just couldn't even be around him because I don't want to be around somebody that fake anything.
and and anybody can fake anything on YouTube. That's why I take everything with a grain of salt too. Because one of my favorite
I've never
videos.
even, I don't even watch my videos, and I've never edited anything. I post it the minute I get through. I don't even watch them because I was there.
That's
You
it.
know.
That's how I do it, man. I just made a video the other day, and I was like, I couldn't see the screen on my phone because I was recording, and I was like, okay, I might have to watch this one before I post it because I don't even know if it was going to show anything.
Well,
And
see that
I never,
my
I
picture
never
right
do
now.
that.
My picture right now, the Sasquatch. That's above a place called River Bluff Cave. And when they were cutting a road through there, they found it, and it's a cave that got caved in with animals in it. And since it's the oldest cave it still had footprints in it from back then. And
Wow.
that picture right there is above that. And I was taking a picture of an Indian burial mound, and that was in the background. I didn't even see it. And when I got home and I looked at it, and even the guy that goes squatching with me, he said I faked that picture. Well, people have got a hold of me of that. That picture's on some website where they can tell if you manipulate a picture now when it's digital or whatever. And I haven't done
Mhm.
nothing. I haven't done nothing to it, and it says that on there. So people, know I haven't touched it. And it could be anything because it's just weird though. I can take people back there right now to where that was, and it ain't there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, I've never seen Sasquatch. I can tell you, my husband, he he's seen what he thinks was Sasquatch because when he was a kid, they lived in a trailer house, and you know how trailer houses are up on blocks, so they're kind of tall,
I lived in a
and
trailer too.
and they had gotten some. Have you ever heard of the Easter chickens, where they're white chickens, but they dye them like
Yeah.
pink
Oh
and
yeah.
blue and
They do ducks that
well,
way too. I think.
they had gotten some of those, and they were in a chicken coop right outside his bedroom window. Well, the bedroom window itself, the bottom of the windows at least 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and then the chicken coop went up to the top of his windows. He said, and uh, there's a little gap at the top of the windows, and he saw a huge hairy head at the top
That's
of the
crazy.
windows, looking at the chickens, and he thinks that it was just curious, like, well, what's up with these colored chickens, you know?
I bet. I tell people when you see something, it's like if you had a brother or sister, and somebody came up to you and said you don't have a brother. Well, first of all, you do, and you're not going to give a shit what they say because it just doesn't matter because you know. It doesn't matter what other people think when you know. I
Right.
don't really care. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. It doesn't matter. you know.
And well, like I said, I've never personally seen Sasquatch, but I've seen something that was very creepy. I don't even know what to call it.
Anytime
It
you
was,
see something that's beyond your comprehension, you start doubting yourself the minute it's over.
yeah, I did. I was like, eh, I've seen some crazy stuff in my life, and like it. But I had my husband with me, so I had a witness that saw exactly what I saw.
Right.
And the only have you ever seen the movie Underworld?
Oh yeah.
It's like vampires and
Oh
werewolves.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, do you remember the guy that was the good vampire that was her friend
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he was like transformed? That's what this thing looked like that was running across a road. It was running. It ran. It should have like impacted the front of our car. We were in a pickup, not a car. It should have impacted the front bumper, and it didn't. It just, I don't know if it jumped across the pickup, but then a bunch of hogs followed it. So like a bunch of wild hogs were like chasing this thing, or it was the leader of them. I don't know. It was so weird, and it was
That's
massive.
crazy.
I, I haven't told many people that.
If you look through history, there was a race called dog people, and Napoleon dealt with them. The men they wore clothes, they cooked their food, they couldn't speak English, but they could understand it. They traded. I mean, there's a lot of
Yes.
stuff in history talked about the dog people.
Oh, good night, Julie. I love you.
Yeah, there's stuff. I don't know. There's so much stuff in the woods that unexplainable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I never really understood. Like, okay, of course, me and you both know NASA's fake,
Oh
but
yeah,
the world, why can't they understand that we don't even know? Like,
they're under a spell. That's what I tell everybody.
we
Because
don't even know what's going on in our own world. Like,
if they
why?
can't see it, if they can't see it by now, they're not ever going to see it.
No,
They're
no.
not.
I mean, like,
It's time. If you don't see it now, you're lost.
mm-hmm.
And
Like,
I've tried to wake people up forever, and you usually just lose friends and spend a lot of time alone. And I don't do it anymore. I don't try to wake nobody up. I just try to hang out with people that already know what's going on and get stronger that way because I'm tired of wasting my time on people to get cut down and slammed, and I just don't care
make
anymore.
fun of.
It's not my job. I tried to help people, but God's gonna have to save them, not me. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Ah, yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way because I mean, I still try with some people, but there's
If
very
it's
few
somebody
of
you're
them.
like immediate family or someone you really care about and you don't want to see them, spend eternity with you. I tell people, it's better to believe in God and not be one than not. And, because whatever your worst nightmare is, you're going to have 500 of your ex mother in laws in there hanging out with you. It's going to be the worst thing you can imagine. It doesn't matter what it is. I remember there was a joke once where these people went to hell and they were taking around and giving them different choices. And the last room they went to, there was people drinking coffee and standing in
Oh
human
my
feces up to their knees. And they said, "I'll take this room." And then someone blew a whistle, and said, "Coffee breaks over, stand back on your head."
yeah, my dad just told me that joke like this
Really?
year. Yes,
That's an old joke too. That's an old one.
I just heard that joke this year. My dad told me that one, and that's so true, man.
Well, one thing I've watched a lot of stuff of people that had near death and they went left their body and came back, and uh, one guy talked about purgatory where people you're like in limbo, and you can see hell and the people going to hell and heaven are like right next to each other, but they can't talk. And some of them say that you have a journey to get to heaven. You don't just die and go there. You got to climb that ladder and go through a lot of hell for the things you did on earth. You got to pay your dues before you get there, and it makes you wonder. And another guy, he said that, the Bible's already given instructions we should already know. It's how many people you win to the Lord because they're waiting for you when you get there. All the people you brought to heaven will be there waiting for you.
And
When you're gone.
there's always going to be disagreements in all of these ideas because people have these stories, like you said, that have died and been brought back. They were dead for a minute or whatever.
Yeah.
And but I always still think that when you die, you just start. go to sleep. You wait till the day of judgment. But there's the
Yeah, I know what you're
story
saying.
of the rich man and Lazarus. So that one I really take to heart because Lazarus, he's in the. It doesn't say he's in heaven. He says he's in the bosom of Abraham,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and that the rich man is not in hell either. He's in the Great Gulf. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
so it doesn't use those terms, which I find interesting. So are these places where we do go? And the rich man was telling Lazarus because he knew that Lazarus was going to be resurrected,
right.
and he wanted Lazarus to go to his brothers and tell them, you know.
Yeah, and
And
like,
he also
yeah,
wanted Lazarus. He's like, please just dip your finger in some water and give me some water. So they are obviously very close, but Lazarus couldn't help the rich man, you know.
what's up, Newman Outdoors? He said he agreed with you that he was taught that you're asleep until Judgment Day.
Yeah, I do believe that, and also I think I this doesn't mesh well with most people. I think animals return to dust. I don't think that like you're gonna have your pets in heaven or anything because
No, because they don't have consciousness. They're just programmed like a chip. They only can do what they're already programmed to do. You know what I mean? That's I believe that too.
I think
I don't think all dogs
I
go to
think it's
heaven.
in no, I don't either. And I can't remember the scripture. I think it's in Psalms that says the spirit of man which rise up to heaven, and the spirit of the animal which goes back into the dirt. So
Right.
right there, that.
Look how quick animals' bones and stuff is gone. You know, real quick when they die.
Mhm.
You know.
But but there obviously are like some kind of heavenly animals because the fiery chariot and the horses that picked up Elijah, you
Yeah,
know.
Elijah and
So
Enoch. You know, only two people that went to heaven that didn't die.
and the four horsemen. So there's got to be some animal kind of things in heaven too. I just don't think our
I
pets
think they were already
are.
created there. In you know, they were probably created there.
Yeah, exactly. They're heavenly creatures.
I mean, angels are little, you know, fluffy pink things, and they're not. You know, there's no women angels. You know,
I know. That don't say there's men or women angels. I don't think they're androgynous. I do think that
I think they're warriors. I think they're, you know, they're. That's what I think.
I
I mean,
think so too.
I'll have to study it, but I'm pretty sure it says in the Bible that angels aren't women; they're men.
That is exactly what I would say. All angels are men, in my opinion, because it says the sons of God, the sons
Men's
of
of old,
God,
men of old. Yeah.
they found the women
Oh yeah.
they found the women attractive.
Oh yeah. Exactly. And you know, and God provided everything before then. You know, we didn't know they brought jewelry and all the weapons and everything. And I believe that the Greeks talk about demigods. That's the same thing as the Nephilim. And I think the pans and the sitars, that stuff was real because that's what they were doing. They were messing with DNA, and they got into
I agree.
all eating. Then
Oh
they
my gosh.
started eating and started eating cannibals and stuff. That's when God said, "This is enough. I can't take no more."
I'm gonna have to see that link to that video that I watched the other day because he talked about all that and that it was them trying to splice different things. That's
They
why
got
there's
bored.
these.
They got bored with us after a while, and that what they'd already done everything they could do, and that's when they started you know making
That's
everything.
why
And
I had the goat, half
yeah,
man things, and
pan. Yeah.
and and this was a real documentary I watched on that. It was like this guy showed a lot of proof stuff that was crazy, and he's like, I think in probably 10 to 15 years, this will actually taught in school as fact instead of fiction.
Yeah. And I really I hear my theory is that that the Nephilim were a lot of people that are in Antarctica underneath the ice is where God put them for but I think they're they don't have a humanly body, but I think their spirit is what demons are. Is the spirits of the Nephilim.
I I think so too. I think
And
that
that's
there
what
are
aliens and
demons
all
living.
that is all evil. That's all it's deception.
Hmm.
And
I
I
agree.
believe I believe that I believe
Anytime a
the
person thinks they've seen an alien, it's a demon.
exactly, but I think the end's getting closer because of CERN and all the stuff they're doing, trying to get every kind of bad entity back here to help fight when God comes back, because they know it. The devil doesn't like Genesis because it tells what happened, and it's written, it's going to happen, and he knows when it gets close, he's going to pull out everything he can. I mean, it's written, it's going to happen,
D,
so it's going to
D
happen.
wave. That's what D wave I think it's all about.
Yeah, and the D-Wave computer doesn't even have a hard drive or nothing. It pulls it out of the ether. Everything comes right out of nothing.
I know. I know. That's so creepy. Most people don't even know about D wave.
Most people don't even know what a chemtrail is.
I
I ask them
know.
about chemtrails, and they look at me with that look, and I'm like, never mind.
Well, this guy that I was telling you about, Bobby, I wish I could think of his channel name. It's Bobby something. Anyway, he put it in a way that I mean, most people would be like, dude, this dude's crazy, but I don't think so. He said what he thinks has happened is that the devil has meshed his dimension, his wicked, evil dimension with ours. That's where Morgellons come from. Everything is basically the smart dust. Everything. That's why we see these faces everywhere, because
Oh
they're
yeah.
all around us. Everything.
Hey, if you, I agree with you because I've been taking pictures of the sky since 2011. I got over 100,000 pictures in the cloud, and I lived at a friend of mine. I lived for 4 years. He lost his license, and I had to take him everywhere for 4 years. And I took the same pictures and recorded in the same deck every day for 4 years in the same spot. And every day the sun was different, different size. And I have pictures in the clouds where it looks like cities, houses, people working. I mean, in the sky. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, so what he was saying is that if the devil has done that, we're still living in God's creation, but the devil has intermingled this
Yeah, I
this
agree.
uh this dust that's smart, and it's replicating and showing things that
Yeah,
are in
that's
the
why I
devil's
think
realm.
the Mayan calendar is like higher consciousness because people are more. You can see it more after that. And that's how I believe that. I do.
Yeah, because when everybody thought the world was going to end,
It was just going to a higher consciousness. That's why, and people that are,
that's really when people started waking up, because people weren't really waking up to 9/11 till about that time.
yeah, exactly.
Wait,
It's, I don't
yeah,
know.
2012. 2012, right?
Well, the Mayan calendar was 2000, wasn't it?
I
No,
think the Mayan calendar, I want to say 2012. Is this a
yeah,
Mandela effect?
I don't know.
I remember there something being very big in 2012. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I guess
I thought that,
2000 was a computer thing.
yeah, that was the computer thing. It was 2012 that all the planets lined up, and that's when the Mayan calendar ended, because it
Yeah,
it, it didn't end. It was just a restart of the calendar.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's starting over. A reset, they call it. A lot of people like the mud floods. I like all that stuff too. Lost history, and I've studied
Oh, I
Egypt,
do too.
Hollow Earth. I've studied everything.
Do you watch Brian Forrester?
Oh yeah,
I,
I
I
like.
love.
I love that. Machu Picchu is where I want to go sometime.
He would love to go on one of his tours.
Oh, I watch his Lost Incan tours. I mean, I subscribe to him, and I'm from. I think even on Facebook. For instance.
How cool would it be to go on one of his tours? I mean, I could not
Oh,
afford it, but I would love to.
that stuff's unreal. That he. I mean, people don't realize that what they're getting to see.
No, they don't. They don't even know what they're looking at. They're just like cool, ancient stuff.
I use YouTube
But
like college because there's so much free knowledge on there. It's unbelievable.
mm-hmm.
And people
We're
paid
going to
thousands
college
of dollars. You know,
now.
people paid thousands of dollars and years of research, and you get to watch it sitting in a chair smoking a bud. You know what I mean?
But yet half these kids that are going to college, they watch stupid crap on YouTube, like how to do your makeup as a transgender, and
They're under the spell. That's why. You know,
So they
Jesus said that the devil was a god of earth and air, so it's
we
all
have all
there.
of this in our fingertips to be looking at, like you said, YouTube. I watch so much YouTube, dude. You have no idea.
I don't watch TV. I watch 6 to 8 hours of YouTube a day is what my YouTube thing says.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I probably watch at least that much, literally. And I just there's so much to learn out there that
I know you learn
is
every day. You never quit learning, that's for sure.
every day. Do you like?
I,
I love the Revealing Unknown channel too. He's got a great
oh yeah,
channel.
oh yeah. I talk to him all the time. He's a good guy. But you know, I
Yeah.
I used to try. I learned a long time ago. Uh, I got into construction, you know, and you work with a lot of people, and it's so easy to manipulate people to how they think. I used to prove it to people all the time. Like Facebook, I usually into it a lot. I don't hardly use it anymore, but I had groups that were secret, and I would go in there and post stuff on Facebook, and we would get there like 20 of us would sit there and talk about how people reacted to what I said,
Mhm.
and they didn't even know that I was doing it. You know, it was just it's too easy. Like I did siding. There's like 25 people there, and the guy, my buddy was my cut guy. I go watch this, and he'd see me. I go around and talk to people, and then pretty soon everybody threw their tool bags down and wasn't working from talking to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People are very easily manipulated, and
And
and that's
if
very
you don't want to
obvious.
gain anything off something, you can get a lot done if you don't want anything in return.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. I worked at a limousine company, and the owner, he was a total ass. He used to sell Lloyd's of London insurance, and his wife and his daughter-in-law and the son all work there, and I started getting the parts guy. I ran the everything, and I had him get bags of candy, and I'd have them on the desk, and people and the owner's wife, and why do you got that candy there? I said, well, I've been getting it. They've been working harder every day. They said, buy it every day, you know. And then they had pull off tires. I was supposed to charge people, and I gave them to everybody. I had them doing birthdays every month, and then I took and the owner. We had a account at Lincoln Mercury, and I charged everything on his own account. And we had Bob Appreciation Day, and it was all out of his own pocket, and he cried, and he bought it all for himself, and he didn't know it. I used to be Robin Hood when I worked places. I worked at a pawn shop.
Nice.
Poor people would come in and give me a 20. I'd give them back 50. It wasn't my money. It was easy to do, you know. It was and the guy that owned it too. He was a bad person, really bad person. So I didn't mind doing it at all. You know what I mean? I didn't.
Well, I would have been one of those people that would have given it back to you because I always double check everything.
Well, they didn't know, you know, and I ran the place. Like if they
I
come in
know.
want a wedding
I
ring,
would
it's
have, I would have given you back the change.
yeah, I heard you. Like last night when I walked from Squashes, I went up here to Come and Go, and I got a couple of 2 liters of pop, and I was looking at snacks, but I just can't eat that crap. You know what I mean? And then when I went to the counter, the guy said, "Were you looking at snacks over there?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Go get you one. I'll buy it for you." I mean, and I said, "You know, I'll do that because I've done the same thing." And I said, "Next time I come up here, I'm going to bring you a piece of my artwork." He goes, "You don't got to do that." I said, "No, and you didn't have to buy me that either."
Aw.
And that's not the first time. I mean, I have a lot of people say I'm lucky, but a lot of it, you know, it goes both ways. You get paid back. I believe in that.
Yeah, you do. I do too.
And
That,
coincidences, I quit believing in coincidences because too much stuff happens to me every day.
I don't expect anything to pay me back, though. You know,
I don't either, but it happens a lot though
but it
when you're like
happens.
that. It does happen.
It does. I I don't know. It's
Okay, I'll tell you an example. Okay, I found that the dead guy last year. You know, he was a veteran, and I found his body, and he was a skeleton in his clothes, and his skull was like 30 feet from his body. And well, I went back a month later, and I found his jawbone and his neck bone were still there. The cops didn't even 4 feet from the body. So I brought it back,
what?
and yeah, and I put it on YouTube and slammed the police. They never even said nothing. But I took the jawbone, I put on a deer skull, and I took a turtle shell. Anyway, I made a skinwalker out of it. Well, yesterday I took the jawbone off and I went and buried it. You know, day before yesterday, because I
That's
just felt like
crazy.
it was I thought it was bad juju. You know what I mean? So and then
Yeah.
I buried it right. So when I'm coming back, I run into a guy that I hadn't seen in 10 years, Me and him went walking the creek, and he's retired from the army, and he had a kid, and he's living with his mom. Well, he had a house that he paid off, and it's 3 bedroom, and it's all been redone. And he said he'd sell it to me owner finance. That happened the next day after I took that job on back.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that everything, I mean, it didn't really. I didn't think about it, but I started talking to people. I'm like, I'm gonna go bury it. No, he ain't missing it. I never really thought about it because everything I find I paint kind of a memoriam for turtles and everything, But
Yeah.
it creeped a lot of people out because the jawbone had fillings in the teeth on the deer. No one claimed
Yeah.
the guy,
I'm glad you went and buried it.
Yeah, and he was 36 and a veteran from California. He wasn't missing. No, you know what I mean? It was weird. It was really weird.
No,
I think
no, no nothing.
I had he had his dog tags on. I had his driver's license. I didn't even tell the police till 2 days after I found him. And I looked and looked and looked on the internet, and the policeman looked, and he wasn't missing. And so, it was weird.
But he didn't have any family that.
Nope. And he was from California, and he was here. And he looked like he laid down in the fetal position, and like, I don't know, he just died.
Damn.
And he had a brand new pocket knife, brand new sunglasses. He had a Camelback half full of water. He had his jump boots on. I mean, it wasn't like it was some tweaker party dude out. It looked like
That's
somebody.
creepy.
Yeah, he still had chocolates in his backpack, like from Christmas. It was really weird. It still bothers me. You think that.
I
I always
can
saw on
imagine.
TV. I was like, I'd keep their skull. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Can imagine walking up on a dead body.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I had a friend of mine was with me, and he was, it was, and then I got on Google Earth, and it was right across from the high school, one of the high schools here. I mean, 100 yards from it, and you could see
Wow.
this, you could see the skull from Google Earth.
That's
And
very creepy.
I walk, I go there all the time, and I remember now before that when I smelled him for like 3 months, and I thought it
And
was
you didn't know
I
he was
thought it was
there.
roadkill. You know what I mean? I just thought an
Yeah.
animal got hit right there by the road.
Wow.
There's still a blanket down there of a hunting dog where it was his. I mean, the cops didn't care. They left the jawbone and the neck bone 4 feet from the body, so they didn't even do nothing.
Well, from my understanding and encounters with most police officers, they don't care.
And if you look at it,
There are
I used to put video systems in police cars, and they get lied to every day of their life. People hate them. Society makes them that way too. Everybody hates them, but how do you think they got that way?
because most of them are that way.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't though.
I
But when
mean,
you get in there,
I,
you either stay with it or you get out. You know what I mean? The ones that aren't going to be that way, they get out quick because they kick them out. But if you don't adapt, you're out of there. They're pretty tight. They don't tell on each other. They get paid vacation when they kill somebody. It's
yep. I
eh,
I worked for a state trooper. I cleaned him and his wife's house, and I didn't know I was getting the job for cleaning a state trooper's house. When I got the
yeah,
job, he was at work, and I went to her house, and I met her. Blah blah blah. Short story. The next time I came over, he was home. His car was there, and I was like, "Oh crap, what's going on?" I thought, "Are the cops here?" Well,
yeah.
and it turns out he lives there. But crazy thing is that they're probably like my age, maybe a little bit older, not much,
Yeah.
and he's killed 3 people in his line of work.
Uh,
That's a
wow.
lot, in my opinion, for
Yeah,
living in
kill one
a.
person is a lot, if you ask me.
Yeah, and because he this is a rural area,
Yeah, and you don't hear
very.
that. Like, there's not that many murders in a big town, really. I mean,
Exactly, and so he lives in a rural area. I found that highly. I never looked into them and their whatever.
well, I grew up in a small town, and one of the highway patrolmen there, he was a photographer, and well, my sister got pictures taken in the basement, and he would put moves on all the women, young girls, and I mean, I'm not talking, but his daughters, when they were teenagers, both got killed in a head-on wreck in the same car. You know what I mean? And that there, just I always thought of that because here he was messing with everybody's kids in the whole town when he was taking pictures of them. He was flirting with them and being obscene. And then both his daughters got killed when they were teenagers. I just thought, man,
Mm,
it's not karma, but I mean, that stuff just makes you wonder.
right. Well, it just makes
I
me
just
wonder.
I
I
try
mean,
not to do anything bad to nobody.
me too. Same here. I tried to just be a good person to everybody. And
I don't sleep much now because of divorce, but before that, I never had trouble sleeping my whole life because I don't feel guilty about anything.
no, I sleep
A
like a
lot,
baby.
a lot of
Well,
people can't sleep because their dreams are nightmares.
yeah, I have crazy dreams. I don't have like sometimes
I
I
don't
have
dream them.
nightmares. But,
I don't have
oh,
dreams.
I
I don't. If
do.
I do, I don't remember them.
I dream. Sometimes I don't dream very often, but when I do, they're very real dreams. Like they're very realistic and like I experience them. They're very.
I don't like sleeping because all my family's gone, and when you have those dreams and you wake up, your mom, you were talking to her all night, and she ain't there. That's like since I got divorced. I mean, I had what's today? Today Saturday? Is it Saturday or Friday? Yeah,
It's
I mean,
Saturday. It's Saturday.
I, I haven't been to bed in 4 days, and I go,
What?
well, no, I sleep like 20 hours a week. Sometimes I mean, I went when I got divorced. I went 6 weeks without sleep.
How do you do that?
I've been this way my whole life. I've never had a broken bone. I don't. I go out in the heat. I go out in the heat all day long and this stuff is sweat, and I only eat once a day, and I fast like twice a week. I mean, I run
I
on empty.
I've never had a broken bone.
I haven't either.
I've I haven't had a shot since I was
I've never had a
probably.
prescription either to any drugs either.
I haven't had anything like that in probably 20 years, close to 20 years. No shots, no nothing.
I never
Uh,
had mumps, measles, chicken pox. I had none of that.
I did. I had the shots. My mom, when I was young, she gave me the diphtheria and all the whatever that,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
shots. I had all those when I was young, but since I've moved out of the house, I have not had anything.
That's like even when I was in boot camp in the Marines, I turned my ankle and I had gear guard, and luckily I was guarding all the M16s today. They got all their shots, and you got that big penicillin shot in your hip, and people couldn't walk. And I didn't get any of the shots. I faked it and limped like everybody else.
Nice.
Like, yeah, we're raised, the American dream is not real. I mean, and until you get out of it, you don't know. That's so sad. You have to be
I
in it
know.
and get out of it to see it. If you don't, you will never see it. My daughter,
Yeah.
her and her old man got good jobs, and they got everything that anyone could ever want. They got Alexa in every room, and they got the doorbell that sees that, and they're sucked into the system. I work on them some, but
Oh, I would
it's
not
not,
ever want any of that crap.
and they can't see it because they're in it. And I just if I try to bring them to light, then it just causes drama and stress, and they get mad, and I went go 2 or 3 months without talking. Like my granddaughter's in kindergarten, she listens to that Billie Eilish, "All good girls go to heaven"
Oh,
crap,
Billy
and
Eilish.
my daughter got mad at me because I was telling her that it was wrong.
It is wrong.
I know, but when you're when you're already in the system, you think all that stuff's just hunky dory because everybody likes it and it's popular and everybody dresses
Mm,
like her, and they don't know
yeah,
because they're in it, and
I
it's
know.
sad.
It is sad.
And when you're not in it and you see your family, it hurts you worse than anything. That's
Well,
part
I
of it is
know.
the hurt of seeing around you that that they got to wake up or they're going to be lost.
I think that's where that whole saying "ignorance is bliss" comes from.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I know people that say I know what you're saying is true, but I will never admit to no one, and I'm not going to tell anybody. So just quit telling me.
Yeah. Well, that's stupid to me because I mean, I get
Well,
it.
because
I
it would
get.
affect their work or their family. They get
Yeah,
outcasted at work.
I understand.
Yeah, but I don't know. it's a fine line.
I'm very grateful that I do what I do for a living, that I can clean houses for people, and most people are not even there when I clean their houses. But you know, I'm glad I can do what I do because it's all under the table kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know, the O'Reilly Automotive started in my town. So did Bass Pro, and I used to be the groundskeeper for the O'Reillys, the people that own O'Reilly Automotive. And I was on unemployment, and they paid me cash the whole time. Yeah, the
Nice.
stuff they threw away was better than any garage sale you'd ever go to.
Yep. Yeah. Oh
Good
man, I
people
used to
too,
work.
though. They were, but
I was just say I used to work some super rich people. You ever heard of Eva Iron?
uh,
Well, they're one of the biggest iron suppliers. Anyway, at least in Texas, and
I've worked for millionaires too. I was worked for people
yeah,
that own banks and stuff, and they're all, you know, I'm not going to talk about them, but
it was
they're rich
crazy.
for a
Like
reason usually.
that, I got she wanted me to help her clean out her closet, and she was giving me clothes in her closet that still had tags on them and shit. You know?
My granddaughter, when I go up, I clean my daughter's house every day, cook breakfast when I'm there, and I tore tags off every one of my grandkids' clothes every day to go to school. And my daughter's smart though; she bought them, you know, on sale or you know, but she just
I
did a
have
good
not
job.
bought any clothes in probably 10 years.
I used to have a
It,
flea market and a pawn shop, and I used to go to the DAV Salvation Army, and that's you know, I'm the same way. I ain't about
yeah.
putting on no.
If I do go shopping, it's at Goodwill or you know
Yeah,
super cheap stuff. Salvation
I've
Army.
I've always been that way.
Mhm. I like stuff already broken in, even my shoes.
Hey, I know, but you know, a lot of times you can find stuff. I used to buy stuff at the swap meet and sell it at the other end of the swap meet where I left.
Yeah, make a little profit.
Buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game.
Uh huh. Yeah,
I bought two
yeah,
rings for
I know.
$90 once, and I sold them for 11,000.
Mm.
And I
My
fished all
son,
summer.
my son found this necklace in the parking lot. I don't know what he ever did with it. I told him just to hang on to it. It's been about a
Hey,
year.
gold and silver has been around forever, and when there's no money, that stuff is always worth value.
Well, this was like a tennis necklace, and it was lined with big diamonds. And I took a picture of it, put it online, looked it up, and it's like worth like $14,000. And he found it in a parking lot.
Yeah, the only thing about jewelry is you can get appraisal for anything that you want. You know, they'll put on there whatever you want. But I tell people jewelry is like a car. When you buy something for $1,000, when you leave, it's worth 100 because you paid $900 for the labor. Only the first person that
True.
buys anything, the first person pays for the labor. The next person don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I haven't asked him about it if he ever tried to sell it or anything because I was scared for him to try to sell it that they might think he stole it, you know?
Yeah, you got to find somebody that's got more dollars than cents.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to have a flea market booth, and I found a Roy Rogers and Trigger harmonica once, and I bought it for
Uh-uh.
like 50 cents, and I put like $200 on it, and someone bought it, and I was like, "What's it really
Yeah,
worth?"
yeah. Yeah, it's probably worth like a couple grand.
But people that have money, they don't go get free T-shirts when you buy a pack of cigarettes. They want to tell people they spent money. They don't want to tell them
Mm.
they didn't pay nothing. You know, they
They want
keeping
to
up with the
brag.
Joneses. You know.
It's bragging rights.
Yeah, I quit buying stuff to look at. That's the difference. I don't buy anything that is not useful to me. You know.
Mm-hmm. I have a
A
ton
lot
of
of people.
crap in my house to look at. Okay, I'll tell you that. But it was
Of
mostly
what?
I have a bunch of stuff to look at. I've got some weird statues and stuff in my house, little figurines and stuff, but they were here when I moved in.
Oh yeah, well I got tons of stuff, but I didn't pay nothing for it, or I made it.
Yeah, I didn't pay nothing for anything.
I like old stuff, you know. I like antique stuff. But I used to collect baseball cards, and I was born the same day and year as Michael Jordan, and I was from Louisiana. I had 10 different jerseys. I used to worship the idols bad, you know. And I don't watch any sports now except for the Kansas City Chiefs. I've been a fan my whole life, and I cried when they won. You know, what I mean, I waited my whole. I suffered a lot of tears and anger and getting made fun of since a long time. It was nice to finally get to see that.
Yeah, I
But
don't do
TV, when you
sports
start watching
anymore.
TV, though, if you don't watch TV, it changes things a lot.
It does. It really does because you're not subjected to the constant programming.
And I'm not materialistic anymore. Things don't mean nothing to me.
Well, I've
You know.
always been that way. I've always been that way, like very unmaterialistic. When me and my husband moved
I
into,
was into sports. I've been into sports my whole life, though. I mean, I've been a sports fan of every sport and except hockey, because we didn't have it. And
you live
when
down.
somebody starts telling me something about an actor or anything, I go, if they're a millionaire, I don't want to hear it. Because if they're belly aching and they're a millionaire, they're an idiot. So I
Hmm.
don't care. I don't care what any stars do. I don't care if they're fighting divorce, buying these cars. I don't give them any time at all because they can do whatever they want. With that kind of money, you could be a good person and do a lot of help instead of buying 20 houses.
Yeah, well, sadly, they pretend to do a lot of good with their money, and that's just part of their scam too.
Oh, I know. Look at Tom Hanks. Everybody loves him. That's in the spell.
Yeah,
And usually
I
the
used
ones they love are the most evil
to,
one. They don't even know it.
I used to love Tom Hanks.
So did I. Big and even and they make every male actor in
Big was
Hollywood anything. They make them dress like women. Every one of them. And he was in
Big is
Bosom Buddies and
my
look at
favorite movie. That is all time. Like that's up there on the list of some of my favorite movies. Big. I love that movie.
when he's on the piano dancing with that. I mean, yeah, it's just a good movie. And when he
It
was in
is.
Castaway and look Forrest
Mhm.
Gump. I mean, he's like really out one of the. They say he made an Illuminati. He's like one of the grand poobahs. And Jim Carrey was,
And
and he
you
got out
know
of it. You know what I mean?
you know that he is one of the most Mandela effects of movies too.
I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Tom Hanks. He's like so surrounded by Mandela effects.
When I think of him, I always think of Wilson.
Hmm.
But I mean,
There's a snake in my boot, but that's not what he said. Do you know that?
uh, in Forrest Gump.
No, Toy Story.
Oh, but one thing he said in Forrest Gump, they said, "Forrest, have you found Jesus yet?" And he said, "I didn't know he was lost."
He says
That was
what? Oh,
he
I
said.
didn't know
They
he
said,
was lost.
"Yeah," and I always remembered that for some reason. But I'm sure that's kind of
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I still know he said my mama always said life is like a box of chocolates.
yeah, exactly.
And I saw a new one today too in that stream we were in where they were talking about the Panther thing.
Yeah.
That he says, I didn't mean to break up your Black Panther party.
Oh,
Apparently he doesn't say that anymore, but I didn't know that. There was a Mandela effect.
that there's so much stuff. You it just keep going and going.
They that's what I said in that stream. I was like, the reason we could go on forever with them is because it keeps changing and it keeps changing and it keeps changing. Because you remember, are you familiar with the one, Houston, we have a problem?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
It And then everybody was freaking out because it turned into Houston, we had a problem,
yeah. There's so
and
many like
now it's
that.
Houston, we have a problem again. So it's flip flop back and forth, you know,
Wow. There's
because
so many like
now
that.
it's
Like
Houston, we
beam me
have
up,
a problem.
Scotty. He never said beam
Yeah,
me up, Scotty.
no, it was always something similar, but he never actually said that. I have a lot of Mandela effects. Uh, are you familiar with all like the Wizard of Oz ones? Are
Oh,
crazy.
I was on it for a long time. And that
Oh,
one thing that C3PO having the golden calf is that that's a Bible thing there, the golden calf. You know what I mean?
oh my gosh, I never thought about that.
I did that. First thing I thought of was the golden calf. A lot of people think that maybe God's the one doing it, you know?
But he's got the silver cast.
Yeah, I know, but he used to be all one color. You know what I
He
mean?
used to be all gold in my head.
Yeah,
But that guy that they were talking to today, Jack,
yeah.
he remembered C3PO always being silver.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
There's a lot of residue too on that. A lot.
I don't remember him being silver. To me, he was always gold all over.
Yeah, but when he got this
I
the
think there
silver,
may have been one episode when he was on that conveyor belt and he got a red leg or a red arm or something. I can't remember.
and then
But
like the scarecrow having a gun and all that. That stuff's retarded.
the gun is retarded, and also the wrench,
Fly my
the
pretties.
ginormous wrench that the Tin Man has now.
Oh, I know. And they
How
lay
could he
down in the
carry?
poppy field too, you know.
So he's carrying an axe and a giant. The wrench was way bigger than the axe.
I know.
He never had that. How could he carry both of those?
And you know, fly my pretties. I mean, that was a classic line. You know.
Mm-hmm. Fly, my peaky, fly. And then she said, fly, fly, fly.
Yeah, how about the Brady's had a variety show?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch. They had a Brady's variety show, like at prime time at night.
Oh, I never saw that.
That's a Mandela, and also like there's a Randy Jackson younger than Michael Jackson and Janet now too with the Jackson.
I thought there was a Randy Jackson, wasn't there?
Yeah, he's off American Idol. He was a bass player for Journey, but now there's a little kid named Randy Jackson that was the youngest of the Jacksons, and Janet Jackson was the youngest. You know what I mean?
Yes, Janet was the baby.
Yeah, and now there's one named Randy.
Huh?
That really.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's pretty new one too. But there's so many, and there's ones that people don't even know yet because they haven't read it.
There's more to come, I'm sure. You know.
Yeah, how about that when they opened up that tunnel over there for CERN? You know, and they had the Baphomet and all. You watched that, didn't you?
Are you talking about the whole
Yeah,
dancing weird parade thing?
And then they had a sacrifice out in front of it, and
super creepy.
It is. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that next week. I'm gonna study all the Mandela and write them all down and find new ones. We'll do a show about it.
You know, there's new ones that we don't even know about.
Right. I'm sure. But yeah, ever since I found out though, I'll ask somebody. I'm gonna ask you 10 questions, and I'll ask them, the basic ones about depends and all that. And then when you tell them that they're wrong, they get mad. And I said, Google it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like how they ask preachers too, and then the preachers start backtracking, and they never admit it either.
Because they don't want to admit that the Word of God can change, and that's why I read that scripture when I came on, the John 14:26, is that God will send the Holy Spirit to bring remembrance unto us the Scripture, the Word of God. Right. So we can't necessarily trust this. Everybody's like, oh, this Bible, this thing is sacred. This is a piece of tree. It's paper. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not the Word of God. The Word of God.
The Dead Sea Scrolls. That wasn't. They didn't find it. That was in the 40s, I think.
Well, I just want to say
the Bible's been written so many times, over and over and over.
This book is going to keep changing. I have different theories on that, but what's important to know is that God has written the truth on our hearts. The truth that we need to know is written in our hearts. Some people choose to ignore it. Some people accept it. And that's where the line is drawn, in my opinion.
Smokey the Bear is one of the biggest ones to me ever, because Smokey Bear doesn't even sound right, And I know Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear.
And I actually a couple of years ago I was helping a guy move, and I found a real old comic, and it said Smokey Bear. And I was like, man,
No.
it wasn't even any residue. It was changed back then, you know.
Yeah, I know. I know. I had the old VHS of Forrest Gump, okay?
Yeah.
And I put it in and played it, and he says, Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. But on the cover, okay, this is what's freaky. On the cover of it, it's brought out in bold letters and like the description of the
Yeah.
movie, you know? It says life is like a box of chocolates on the cover of that movie. So it's like, what? They changed the movie, but they didn't change the cover, you know?
And another one of mine is that California Dreaming. When he says, "I got down on my knees and I begin to pray." Now it says pretend. Well, when that first happened, there's like 100 people that's done that song, and all the other people, when I looked it up, said begin to pray, and then every time I went back, it was slowly till now they all say pretend.
I'm not familiar with this
Well,
song.
California Dreaming. I stopped along a church along the way, and I got down on my knees and I began to pray. Now it says I
Is this
pretend to pray.
is this
It's
a
Mamas
Beach
and the
Boys
Papas.
song?
Mamas and the Papas. Yeah, all the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. You
Yay
just,
in the sky. I love this song.
that's
Yes.
Mama Cass. Mama Cass sang that, and what's her name? The blonde. Oh, her daughter was on Good One Day at a Time.
I'm gonna have to go listen to this song again. But
Hey, you will just.
I don't know the words well enough to know
Well,
if it changed.
who goes into a church and gets on their knees and pretends to pray? Nobody.
Nobody.
I mean, that's blasphemous. Why would you even sing that in a song? And I know, I mean, I love that song, California Dreaming, because it always made, in the winter, you made you think of summer. Yeah, that's what I look for.
Yeah, I always love that song. I thought I did not recognize that line you were saying, so I know the California Dreaming. And
Yeah.
another one that I really liked is Cloverfield, not Cloverfield, Crimson and Clover.
Oh yeah, Joan Jett, or well, it wasn't Joan Jett. Somebody else back then. Tommy and the Shondells, I think, sang it originally.
I can't remember. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm like looking up, trying to think. I'm thinking,
that's what changed on it.
What?
Did something change on that song?
No, the Crimson and Clover. I don't think so. That's one of
Oh
another
yeah,
song I love that song, and I love the uh, California Dreamin'. And there's another one I can't think of right now. That's like, to me, it's just one of those songs you want to go twirl out in the wind underneath the beautiful stars.
I mean, like
Oh
how songs make you remember things in your life. That's how effective music is, and vibrations and frequencies. It triggers something
yeah.
in you to remember things.
Mhm.
Yeah, Scarborough said Michelle Phillips. That's who was in the band too, and her husband was John Phillips. He was in the band, and Mackenzie Phillips was off the skinny girl off of One Day at a Time. That was her mom. And then when her dad died, uh, she came out and said that they said bad stuff about him when he was dead. But,
Hmm. Mackenzie Phillips, he said.
yeah, that's the skinny girl. With Valerie Bertinelli. She got into drugs, and I think when she turned 18, I think it was not sure it was Mick Jagger or somebody, you know, got her. Said I've been waiting on this or something. But
I'm
yeah,
not good. I'm not good at knowing all these names of people. I don't.
I have a
I've never
photographic
been.
memory. I mean, I remember about everything I've ever read.
That's really cool. I'm not
I
good
can
at that. I have a terrible memory. My husband says I'm the. You ever seen 50 First Dates?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Drew Barrymore in that movie. Okay,
Well,
I really am. I'm that bad.
my girlfriend in high school's phone number was 7327265, and that's
That's
40 years
insane.
ago.
I
I
don't
can
even
and I
remember. I don't even
but
remember my last phone number, dude.
Yeah, I can. You can go to about 1969 and you can play a song off the top 40, and I can name them all the way to now. And I know
Yeah,
who's in the band, the name of the album, weird stuff like that.
I cannot do
And,
that. I
and you know, the St. Louis Cardinals in 1926, they won the first World Series, and they won. There was two outs. They were up by one run, and they threw out Babe Ruth trying to steal second to win their first World Series. You know, and that's something that I could never. Ever since I heard that, I've never did. But I just I have tons of useless knowledge unless you're playing Jeopardy and Hollywood Squares. You know,
You need to go on Jeopardy, man.
like I used to go roller skating, and one time they said, "What was the first song on Night Tracks by Ted Turner?" And I was like, "Randy Newman, I Love L.A." I don't even know how I knew that.
It's stored away in your head somewhere. My brain does not work that way at all. I store weird information like
Well, before
I don't know.
Google, people used to call me when they couldn't remember something. I mean, I'm serious. I don't know why. I just have tons of useless knowledge.
That was my husband. I could be like, "Hey, babe, what was that song?" I can give him a couple words, and he's like, "Blah blah
And he
blah."
named it, right? Yeah, people don't even know what
Yeah,
you're going to say. What about that movie? And you name it out of every movie in the world because you're in sync with them.
yeah. My husband is like that. He can remember stuff. He's like an elephant, and he's got a great memory.
Well, like I
I,
remember one time a friend of mine pulled up at the track practice and he was in a little Maverick and he bought Journey Frontiers and it was on 8 track. And I saw him one time and told him about that and he didn't even remember that. And he did it. I was telling him his own memories.
wow.
It was
Hey,
wild.
speaking of phone numbers, when I was a kid, you know, way before cell phones, we had the big old black phone hanging on the wall with the cord that
Yeah,
could
yeah, to
go to
crank it up so you can make a call.
No, no, not that old.
Well, the
it was
phone
just
looked the same though.
it was just that rotary dial phone, hanging on the
Yeah,
wall,
we had a
and
party
it
line
had
then.
long ass cord. That's what I was gonna say. Is we had a party line, and I'd pick up the phone to call a friend, and I would hear my neighbor talking to
Yeah,
her friend, and I'd be like, "Hey, y'all almost done? I'll be
yeah.
back in like 5 minutes."
Or
We
you get
had
on there and
like
say, "Hey, Betty Joe, quit listening to me."
yeah. Sometimes sometimes we'd pick it up and just sit there and listen, and they'd be
Yeah,
like,
because you'd
"I
hear
think
them click it. You'd hear a click when they picked it up, and you'd say, "Hey, get off the phone."
yeah."
And the phone number was like PH234 or something. You know, it wasn't that many. It wasn't that many
I
phones
can't
then.
I can't remember what our party line was, but there was like 5 people on our party line.
You know, when I was in high school, there wasn't even a VCR yet. You know?
Well, there was when I was. I'm only 40, so but we had a party line.
I had to get an FM converter for most cars. Only had AM radio. You had to buy an FM converter to get to listen to FM.
Wow.
Yeah.
We I mean, I remember when we got the Mario, the very first Mario.
Donkey Kong.
No, we got Mario Brothers, and it came with the secondary game, the Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. Yeah.
And my
I had.
dad loved that game so much, we would want to be playing it like all night. But my dad was like, "No, I'm playing," and he would play it.
Oh, I know. It's my son was a gamer, and games have ruined the youth. I mean, that's what they're desensitized. It's horrible. My ex used to go in there and shut it off after he'd been on there for 3 or 4 hours and got the level so and so, and she'd just shut it off, and he would just go insane and violent and
Nuts! Like
throw and cut,
I it. Yeah, I know.
and that ruined
It's
the youth. Yeah. And then he watched Disney movies, and we thought we were doing something good, and they got all the subliminal crap in them,
oh yeah, oh yeah. There's
and we thought
everything.
Disney movies were the good ones.
Everything is tainted. Every single thing.
Everything, and you don't even know it sometimes. It's hidden right in front of you, and you don't. That's what makes it
But
hard. You sit there and see it, and no one else can.
there's a lot of truth in there too. That's what I know. I show little clips of movies here, there, and yonder sometimes in my stuff. The Never-Ending Story. That whole movie is chocked full of truth. You
It
know,
shows like
I,
SpongeBob. It shows so much Illuminati stuff. I never watched it, but a couple of times, and it's like they had pyramid and the seeing eye, and
hmm And my son, he as an adult, well, semi-adult, he got obsessed with watching this cartoon show called Rick and Morty. I've never watched
oh,
it,
I know, I know people like
and he
that.
said so much like truth in it that, and people don't even know because my son's awake, but he doesn't like to like put it out there that he's awake. But he sees it. He's like, "Mom, this show is constantly telling people the truth, and they don't even see it."
I know they're all that way. All the cartoons are not for kids anymore.
Mm. No, that's what he said. He's like, these cartoons are like they're just showing all the demonic stuff that's going on all around us, and nobody gets it.
And they get desensitized to it because they don't know anything's wrong with it. It's
That's
the
the
norm.
that's the
It's
game. That's the
yeah,
game plan. They want them to be
I
desensitized,
know.
and when they
I have
see it, won't think it's that. They'll just be like, "Oh, it can't be that. That's a cartoon."
hey, my friend
Hey, Mark, you cut out. I can't hear you.
a phone. I had a phone call. I'll hurry though.
Oh,
He wasn't even married to this lady, but he's raising that lady's daughter, who's not even related to him, and they never leave the hotel room. And all he does is work, and they play games and stay in there. His daughter stays in bed all the time. She's 14, and all they do is play games. And he talks about zombies and zombies. And I try to talk to him, and he can't get that mindset. He talks about killing zombies on his game. That's it.
what kind of life is that?
And I tried to tell him that. I said, dude, at your age, I had two businesses and coaching my son, playing ball. I said, you're too young to sit in this hotel room and do nothing. And his daughter, it's not his daughter, but she was born with like something wrong with her Achilles tendon or something, and she walks like she's doing ballet on her tiptoes. You know what I mean? And he's about 5'5", and she's like 5'7", and she's 14, and she's into that emo crap, and she gets in trouble at school, and he let her go to school with makeup on her face to look like a skeleton and stuff, and she's a lesbian, he says, and I'm like, who knows what they are at 14? And I'm like, I don't know, it's a hard deal. People
Nobody at 14 knows what they are. I mean,
and
that's
and
the
who wants to
whole
hang out in a
problem.
hotel room with their dad all the time?
Yeah.
It's not really
Well,
his daughter either. You know what I mean?
I gotta say this real quick is that most people that their parents let them trans at a young age
Yeah.
regret it when they become an adult. Because
Oh yeah.
children have to. I was a super tomboy, but I'm a very much a female.
A feminine tomboy. Yeah, I got you.
And if my but let's say my parents would have been very liberal people, they might have started trying to trans me.
Yeah, you might have been Pat.
Yeah,
you know,
and
you
like
can't tell what they are. I see that every day. I'm like, I don't know what to say, ma'am or sir.
that's so wrong for people to do that to their children.
I know, because kids don't know what they want when they're 18.
And I mean, I have to tell you, I don't even think it's right if they're like 40 and decide they want to be the opposite sex. It's still
Hey,
wrong.
I'm strong in my beliefs. And one time in the Springfield News Leader, the paper, these gay men were moving because they didn't change the deal where bathrooms, were unisexual or whatever. And I put in the scripture about a man laying with a man, and I had to erase my comment because there was 100,000 comments of hate of people fighting back and forth over that.
Wow.
And, and
Well,
that part, I'm not,
I believe like you do.
I don't try
I
to
don't
judge
hate
people.
people that feel that way or anything. I know that
I feel sorry for them
I feel sorry for them, and it's going to be detrimental to them. You know?
because it's you either believe in the Bible or you can't pick and choose what you want out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And people do that; they just get what they believe in, and the rest it doesn't matter to them. There's
it
so many
the
lukewarm people anymore when it comes to religion is sad.
you've got to take it from the very first moment of what was the first thing that God told us as mankind to do.
Go ahead.
He told us to go forth and procreate.
Yeah.
Now for someone to think that it is God's purpose for them to be a homosexual, they are denying the very first commandment that God gave us to go forth and procreate,
And see,
because they
they're under
cannot
the spell
procreate.
again.
So that itself is a defiance against God, which makes that is the why it's wrong, because you cannot procreate.
No, and they flip the script now. If you say anything against somebody that's bi or anything, then you're the worst hater in the world, and you hate people altogether. That's what they try to
I
make
mean,
you put it out to be, and all you're doing is going by the Bible.
right, and you understand why it's a sin. The reason it's a sin is because it's against what God wants. God wants people to be able to make fruit.
Have children. Yeah,
And if you can't make fruit, that's an abomination.
yeah,
No,
I agree.
okay, there's a lot of people that are infertile because of circumstances that this world has created. If you
They
can't
can't
have
control.
children,
Yeah, yeah.
that is not what I'm talking about. Okay, anybody listening, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you choose to be with somebody of the same sex, there's no way you can. You're choosing a lifestyle that has no chance of procreating, and that is against the will of God.
And if you're not that way, it's not in your mindset. I mean, you can't comprehend it. It doesn't. It won't go in no matter what you do. It will never function. It won't ever compute right to you because it can't. I don't make fun of them or tell them they're doing wrong because it's not for me to judge them. But if they don't see it, they're not done. And I've worked with people that are gay and were nice people, and I never said nothing bad to them. But I don't talk about my sex life to no one. I never have. And as long as they don't, they got to answer for it. But don't be pushing it on kids. I hate that. Don't be.
Yeah, don't push it on babies.
And
No.
that's what they've been doing, having trans guys read in the library to them. And that kid, that was dressing like a woman, and they had him on the Today Show, and he's getting tipped by stripper men. And
Oh,
I'm like, the world's
Desmond.
gone when they. Ugh.
Desmond, amazing. That poor child. I think his parents should be subject to child abuse. To be
I
honest
call it.
with you,
They need to be ball peened. You take them out and get a ball peen hammer to the head and bury him.
his parents,
I'm sorry.
his dad's creepy. His dad's super creepy.
And I'm telling you, there's people that are really going to suffer and pay for what they've done, and they don't know it's
His
coming.
dad comes across to me as a, you know what?
Yeah.
I think that poor boy has been subjected to things by his father.
Hey, believe me, I know what you're talking about because when you've
I don't
been, I
want to
don't
say
know,
it because you say
I don't
certain
want to
words.
either. But you know when you know something's wrong. You just know in your gut or your heart. You know what happened. You can just
And
tell
I
by the
feel
look
so
on their look on their face.
sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, just one thing that somebody I was talking about that the school has really been on him about. His daughter that's not his daughter, and the real mom didn't even know her birth date of the daughter. But
Wow.
whenever and we have a communication gap because he's from the Philippines, and you take it for granted everything we know here because other countries aren't taught like we are. And he said it was I hate to say this, but when he was talking about all this stuff one day, and I said, and he goes, and I haven't even touched her out of the blue. I never said nothing. And I told him, I said, dude, I don't know if that's a communication gap, but by saying that right there, everyone that you ever say it to is going to think automatically you did, no matter what. I said, don't ever
Mm,
say that again. If you didn't do it, don't say that, dude, because I know you and I'm thinking that. So what's somebody that don't know you going to think? And
right.
it may be a communication gap, but now ever since then, it's stuck in my head. You know what I mean?
So what do you think?
I don't know
You
what
don't know.
14-year-old girl. What 14-year-old girl hangs out? He'll be over here with me, and he's on his phone texting, and I go, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "My daughter," and he just left the room to come
I
over here and
don't.
hang out with me.
I don't know anybody that takes their kids really. I mean, like not like obsessively.
No, but I don't know any teenage daughter that wants to hang out with their dad in my whole life. They, you know what I mean? Never. I mean, it's just
No,
weird to me.
especially when they're not even their dad.
See, and that's what it's not his real kid, you know. And
Yeah,
all I did
that's
is just
weird.
pray for him, you know, and hope that I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too.
And what's weird, even weirder, is I've got to be good friends with one of his friends that works down the street at a nursing home. And the first time I said something like that, he looked at me and his eyes were as big as silver dollars, and he was like, he thought the same thing, and I was like, oh no,
And
that's
this
when
is
you
a
know.
friend of your, this is a friend of yours?
Well, he lives out here where I do. I've only known him 2 years. He and
Mm.
besides that, I mean, he's a good guy. That's the only thing that's ever freaked me out. But he's from the Philippines, and it could be a communication thing. I mean, I wouldn't want to think that, but it's just all too weird, you know.
So that could be a culture thing because
Yeah, yeah,
in
exactly.
cultures over there, they are very close with their children and want to be, it's, yeah, it could be a culture thing.
Yeah. And whenever he showed me the picture of letting her go to school with that dressed up like something from Mardi Gras, I'm like, dude, she's getting made fun of because of the way she's dressing, not because she's a lesbian. That's popular now.
Right.
You know what I mean? They made it acceptable. It's not even acceptable. It's popular. It's like you're better than normal if you're like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And
I know,
it's hard
I know
not to talk about
exactly.
it sometimes, but it's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject and it's also a very censored subject.
And it's awkward too. It's when you want to talk about something and it's hard to talk about. That right there should tell you everything. It's not comfortable
Mhm.
because it's in our mindset, like you talk about. It's part of our thinking that we already know that's in there. Some
Oh,
people are
I
raised
don't mind
different and they
talking
don't
about
know.
I don't mind talking about it because I know it's out there and I know it's true, but I know that it can get your channel flagged for saying certain words and YouTube,
Right.
so I try
I
to.
lost my Facebook. I lost my Facebook for 10 months once because the guy said that the American flag offended him and he was from Iraq, and I I called him a goat raper. And
Oh no,
it took me 10 months to get my Facebook back.
this whole stream's going to go down because you said that.
Hey,
You know that.
on Facebook, I don't care. On Facebook, you get these women request you friend. I call it the horror request of the day, and it's those 1-900 numbers. And literally, I used to have two phones, and I'm screenshotting what's going on and putting it on Facebook at the same time. And this lady said, "What are you looking for in life?" And I said, "A three-legged goat." Then she goes, "Can you send me a picture?" I sent a picture of Goat Boy off Saturday Night Live. And then she goes, "Can you send another one?" I sent a picture of a goat. And they said, "Are you a goat?" I was
What
like,
the heck?
it's an algorithm, or it's somebody in a different country trying to. But I've never got hacked or anything because I don't have a bank account. If you ain't got that, they don't want nothing from you.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. Nobody wants to hack me. If you hack me, you're going to get bad credit.
Hey, that's what I say. If you hack me, you're gonna start getting letters from all over. No, I don't owe nobody, but you ain't gonna win nothing by getting my information. I already have it out there.
Yeah, same here, same here.
I got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? I'll tell you.
the worst
I,
thing, the worst thing that can happen to me is because I've put my information all out there to people, and the worst
yeah,
thing that could happen to me is I have some psycho roll up in my yard or something.
yeah, but if I
I
have a reason,
do want that. Don't come rolling up in my yard, weirdo.
don't poke the bear. I used to love the Incredible Hulk. He's like, "Don't make me mad. You won't like me when I'm angry."
Don't make me angry.
But
I
as long
think
as you're standing
you
for
said
something you
don't
believe
poke
in,
the
or
bear.
yeah, don't poke the squatch.
Do
So
you
they
the big?
say
Do
I
you
want to
watch
go back to
Big
the
Bear?
old me.
Do you watch
You
Big
what?
Bear?
What is it?
Do you watch Owen Benjamin?
No, I don't know who that is.
No, he's that's what they call Big Bear, and they use that term. Don't poke the bear. And
I ain't heard that before.
everybody in his chat is named something bear. Like
Oh, really?
they all change their name to like blah 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 there, because they're all like it's like a
Worshiping
community.
idol.
Yeah. But it's not
I,
like that. They're just like they do it because out of respect. He's speaking truth and he tells people, I watched him
yeah,
go through his whole flat earth awakening and it was
yeah.
amazing. He did it all on live YouTube. He was like, okay, you guys, we
Hey,
got he tried to get Eric Dubay on his channel
oh, I like Eric Gray.
because he was like, I don't want to think the Earth's flat. So he wanted Eric Debate to debate him, and Eric Debate did not show up. It was like terrible. Anyway,
Uh,
but he's a he's a truther, and he used to be a comedian, and he got blackballed from Hollywood. He was really a big thing,
wow.
not like super big, but he worked with Adam Sandler, and
Who
uh,
is it?
his name is Owen Benjamin, and
That name sounds familiar.
he's been kicked off Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Uh, so now he's
Do
making
you
videos.
do you follow Kent Hovind? You follow Kent Hovind?
I know that name.
Kent Hovind, he's a creationist and he has the Dino Land dinosaur place, and they put him in jail for structuring for paying his own bills to the church for 11 years. They put him in prison falsely, and they moved him like 40 times in jail, and he saved like 50,000 people and wrote books in jail, and he was a science teacher in school forever, and he he was against you know everything they teach in school. He's against Darwinism, and he knows science because he taught it. And he has a thing. Now he's on YouTube, and he has a thing where he bashes an atheist, and it's great because this guy's smart and he'll debate anybody. He's done Bill Nye. He'll debate college professors, and I'll say I'll have to send you a link or something. He's my favorite.
I know Kent. I just can't say I don't necessarily follow him, but I know I've
I
seen his
I
material.
talked to him when he was in jail before. When he was in, I just he somebody got me back to to God. He was the one that did it really a long time ago. After I started watching him, and he has seminars and tapes, and he just does it. He's smart, and he believes in the Bible 100%.
He's a flat. He teaches flat Earth
No, nope,
cosmology, right?
nope.
No.
That's the only thing I don't agree with him. He doesn't believe in flat Earth. And
Mm.
another thing, I don't believe in dinosaurs either, and he does.
I don't believe in dinosaurs. Well, I can't say I
Not
don't
their
believe.
narrative of it.
I think there were giant beasts, but I don't think they were with dinosaurs. I don't think
No,
they
they flew
millions of
around
years.
and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Have you studied that? Have you got and studied that the dinosaur thing?
I have.
Yeah, I have too.
I believe in the
Well,
Bohemian and the Leviathan, and they're
yeah, Leviathan. Yeah, they only find dinosaur bones when they go to a place to look for them. And back then, when it started, it was two guys fighting back and forth for glory, and it was all fake, every bit of it.
and half the time they only found like one bone, and
And
they're
then they
like
would make
build
up
the
and they would
entire thing.
make up the sounds and everything.
Uh-huh. So
And all the
it's
bones come from
a lot of
China.
bones were just like bones from the giants.
Yeah, and like no civilization ever found dinosaur bones until 18 something ever. That's crazy.
That whole story was created so they can make up the story of fossil fuels.
Oh, I know, and it's all about creation. They don't want you to believe there is a God and we're not special. And if you read the Bible
Oh,
and
right.
you're not a flat Earth, something's wrong if you can't see it and you're a Christian because God put it in there many times about the firmament and the four pillars and all this stuff. It's easy.
That's true. That's true. But literally, they invented dinosaurs so that they could make money off of fossil fuels. The
Yeah, and
Rockefeller.
Ken Hovind's good on that. They talk about the tectonic plates moving, and he said, guess what? Before the flood, left the water on the earth, and guess what? All the land's still connected under the water. It just used to be a valley. Now it's full of water from the flood.
Because there's more water.
Yeah, because Well, here, what I believe is, the when he flooded the earth, he dropped the water from above, and that we lived in a perfect environment before then with oxygen and everything, and that's why we lived so long and got so big. Things got big because of the perfect environment. When he dropped half the
And
water, then you get radiation, the sun, everything. It changed everything.
when he opened up the heavens and dropped the water in, he also opened up the fountains of the deep, and
Yep.
and the water subsided, in my opinion, because they went back out the fountains of the deep. But I think more water was left here, and that's why we have rain system now. Because we didn't have a
Yeah.
rain system.
No, and before then, God provided everything. You know,
Mhm.
and people don't realize the flood was only like it's 3 or 4 generations from Adam is all it was. It wasn't very long
Yeah.
after, it was a long time in years because people lived so long. But Methuselah was the oldest ever, and Enoch was Methuselah was Enoch's grandfather, I think, or father.
Mhm. It was
Yeah,
his. I think it was his father.
yeah, something like that. The Book of Enoch really was a wake up call too, because it explains all the stuff that the Bible doesn't.
Well, even that is still in the, what do they call it? The whatever Bible. The,
Yeah, the
what's that word?
Catholicism took it out, because Catholic is antichrist. Catholicism is.
Mhm. Sorry,
But
I'm
like
I'm
it talks
eating. Can you,
about,
can you hear me eating? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you
I'm
can.
hungry.
But like if you read it right, God was on the ark with Noah, and in the Book of Enoch it talks about if they didn't get two animals on the boat, then the oxen laid had a pig when it birthed a pig that they needed. There's all kinds of stuff that explains things that the Bible leaves out. But they just don't want us to believe that we were created by God. That's the whole thing goes back to.
The whole point, yeah, they just don't want you to believe in God. Period.
And the Luciferians at Targe they believe that Satan was the light bearer and gave us knowledge so we wouldn't be slaves, and he gives them wealth and fame, and they believe they're doing the right thing. They're under a spell so much they think what they're doing is the right thing.
Yeah, and I think that God, the creator, well, they don't believe that God is the creator. They think he's the devil.
Yeah, and he was keeping us as slaves and not giving us knowledge. That's
Uh-huh.
what they believe.
It's like up is down and down is up. It's totally, everything's reversed, what they believe.
Yeah, Parkway, he's in here, and me and him, we can be in anything, and he's like, I always say you never see water stick to a ball, and it's called sea level, not sea curve. And I like his stuff like that. If you try to talk to somebody about it, though, that's educated by our system, they won't give into it because they don't want to think they paid money to get brainwashed. You know what I mean? The
That's a that's
pride and
a pride
ego.
that's a pride thing.
Yeah, pride and ego are the worst enemies of truth.
Mhm.
But when you're in it,
Yeah.
though, I mean, it's the whole thing is when you're in it, you don't know. You have to get out of it to see it. If you don't get out, you never will. You'll keep believing everything you've been taught because you were taught to believe it.
I just want to say welcome back, Judy Marvin.
Because a lot of stuff like flat Earth, when I went in there to disprove it, and then you start reading it, and you're like, holy shit, I've been lied to.
Mhm. I know. Same here, my friend.
Almost everyone like that went in there to say they were stupid and they were trying to prove them wrong. That's how most people. And one thing, it's brought back so many people to the Bible and religion, and people don't realize that.
I did not come at it to disprove fire, to be honest with you. My husband he had been down the rabbit holes, and I was just like ignoring him, saying whatever, whatever, whatever. And one day he came to me and he said, babe, because he knows I'm a Christian and Bible
Yeah.
believer. So he was like, I just want you to go read Genesis 1 with a completely open
Open mind.
mind, and don't be thinking anything you've been taught. Just read it. Just read it and see what you think about it when you are done. And I did. I went
And
and read it.
when you read it, you probably could talk to him. Then it started a whole avalanche.
Oh, immediately. I was a flat earther. Immediately. Okay. As soon as I got to I think as soon as I got to verse 16 or something, after I got to the firmament and the fact that there was light before there was a sun and moon and stars. I was
It's
like,
going back to your
whoa.
scripture. It goes back to
I,
your scripture that it's because it's knowledge that we had before, and you woke it back up. It was already there,
yeah,
and you
the
just woke it
spirit,
back, brought it back to light.
the Holy Spirit did that to me. Okay,
Discernment, discernment.
my husband made me look at it, but the Holy Spirit showed me that
But
because
if you got to ask, if you ask, you will receive. And
yeah,
if
when I
you
went and
just pray
read,
to God and say, "Give me understanding," and He will.
and I did. I did before I read it because I wanted to have it with a clarified mind, and I asked God, please let me just read this and know what it says, and I read
And
it.
I take a lot of notes, and I write. I tell people if you're just patient, He will give you the knowledge in the way you can understand it, and as He
Hmm.
thinks you can handle it. Slowly. Some people can't handle it.
And that was in like February of 2016 that I became a flat earther. I It was immediate. I didn't have to study it at all, man. That's what's so crazy. And then I got into like listening to Eric Bay and
Eric Bay
all,
did a lot for me too, and the flight patterns.
yeah,
How
flight patterns.
that was a big one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. That was a huge
Because
one. The flight patterns.
yeah, because you see these planes that crash with teams on it and stuff because the fuel ran out because the map they were going by is not the right one.
Well, just watching where the planes fly really got me. Seeing that they
Well,
went
like
like in these
remember that
dark.
lady not too long ago? That lady was pregnant and they flew the land
Yeah,
and they went miles and miles out of the way and it didn't make sense at all.
because it would have been generally the same distance to land in LA where they were headed anyway, but instead they landed up in Anchorage, Alaska, or something
Yeah,
like that. And literally that's the same distance to LA. It might have been a little shorter just to go to LA, but because on the globe model, if you show it on a flat Earth, it makes sense because they're flying over Anchorage to get to LA.
yeah,
So
I
that's
know.
why it makes sense. And yeah, that was a huge one for first off, it was the bio Genesis one was that was my wake up.
And
But the flat
Copernicus,
patterns
he came up
like
with the flat Earth
confirmed.
and he came up with the globe thing in the 1500s before anyone had ever even been high enough to see anything. And then the first guy that went up in the gondola, his name was Picard, just like the Star Trek, and he said it was
Uh-huh.
flat with a turned up edge. You know what I mean? The first person that got high enough to see.
And that was published in Popular Science in like 1918 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I saw that somebody had an original copy of it.
His name was Jacques Picard, and his son was the first man to go to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's crazy.
Yes. I can't think of his son's name right now. His son may have been called Jacques. Uh, I don't know. My son did a report on it. I made him do a report on it when he was little.
That's cool.
But yeah, Picard's son went to the Mariana Trench in what was called the bathysphere. It was a big, thick iron
Oh
ball.
yeah, yeah, I remember that. I've always got into Jacques Cousteau, and I like, we know more about space than we do the bottom of the ocean, but they're really both water, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Is that it's ridiculous that we have NASA when we don't even know like what's going on in our ocean. 10% of what our ocean
Hey,
is, we don't even know.
I troll the International Space Station. They're on all the time live, and I go on there, and it only takes one sentence, and I'm the troll.
Oh, I totally trolled them too.
And like air bubbles, and the International Space Station. I tell people it's underwater. They look at me like I'm the craziest dude that ever lived.
I know. I do. I don't anymore, but I used to. I used to totally
And I
troll
sit
that.
there and show them the video, and they won't watch it for more than 1 minute or something. They won't even give you like 5 minutes of their time to even look at it. They're so far gone. They won't even look at it because I think they're afraid that they might find out they're wrong.
Yep, I know.
What I do, I put
What?
it out there, and if someone plants a bush and it's their bush, they'll brag on it. But if you give them a bush I let them think it's their own idea. If people think it's their idea, you can go a lot farther. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, how I know.
But no one in my family believes like I do. No one, and they're all most of my family's dead. But my
Well,
daughter, I mean, I woke her up to some things, a little bit that helps, but
I don't
nothing
have many
significant.
people. My parents and my brothers and sisters, no, they're all asleep. My husband and my mother-in-law and my son, they all know it. My son denies it because he wants to try to live a normal life, you know.
Yeah,
So
so you
he
made me think that guy I went Bigfooting with. He brought a guy in named Randy Harrington from Kansas, up by Kansas City. He was a retired fireman, and he's a big old weightlifting dude. And he brings a whole trailer with a tent, computer, generator, coffee pot, and he walks around in bikini underwear. And he's an atheist. He's an atheist too, and he pushes it. And I said, "Is your wife and your daughter an atheist?" He goes, "Yeah, but I didn't make them be that way." And my buddy that I was going with that brought him in, Shane, he was the music director at church. He said, "Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that." And he wouldn't even let me defend God, and that was one of the reasons I got away from him too. Okay, he goes on his Facebook and he directly, if you're an atheist is one thing, but he pushes it and try. It was horrible. I mean, it bothered me, and I just wasn't going to associate with people like that. You know,
I can't do that either.
it's guilty by association is a bad thing.
Yes, it is. I
And
want to say something real quick. Parkway, he his comment is very cool and true. Whales can communicate up to 4,000 miles. That's a straight line communication. Don't happen on a spinning ball.
no, it don't. And the saying the Earth spinning 11,000 and all that crap. It's like how come you can see a pond, and you can drop one little thing on it and make that ripple across there, and
Uh,
about the it's all the anything they build bridges, they don't allow for curve. And if it was like that, why can't a plane just take up and wait for where he's going to come to him?
right. Now, see, because I am familiar with you, I know you have moved past the whole Earth flat. You moved past all these rabbit holes and are trying to get more just a connection, right?
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I mean, I I do talk about these things still, but
I do
not like I
with
used to.
like-minded people usually.
Yeah, yeah. I used to talk about it incessantly, but that was all I talked about. But there's so much more too. Like there's just so much more. Like
I go into chats and they're talking about stuff that I learned at the beginning, and that's when I'll wait till they catch up because I don't. It's rhetoric now. I've heard it so many times. It's like you don't need to preach into the choir. You need to go out and preach in the streets to people that don't know it.
right,
And it's
right.
hard to do.
Yeah,
It's hard to do
it
though.
is hard to do. Very
A
hard.
cannonball, a cannon can shoot a cannonball up in the air, and most of the time it'll land right back in the same hole.
Yep, exactly. That's
And
the
that
way
would
you.
not
I
be
know.
possible.
I know. I was just talking to the Markster about this. Mark the Skywatcher.
Yeah,
We were just talking about this the other night. Is that if the Earth is spinning and snipers have to take into effect the Coriolis effect,
yeah,
then a helicopter should be able to just go up and hover and
yeah.
land further away. They shouldn't have to do any effort. They should just be able to hover there for like an hour and they could travel thousands of
Yeah.
miles.
Hot air
But
balloonists
that's
used to do that too. The hot air balloon, they go up and they think that they could just hover up there too. A long time, when they first started doing it.
and it doesn't work that way because it doesn't. We're not moving.
Exactly, we're stationary in it. The four pillars of the earth. If Jesus comes back, how would people in Australia see us if they're in the bottom of a ball?
Exactly. How did the devil show Jesus all the kingdoms of the earth and try to tempt him if the earth was a ball too?
And Eric
He took
Dubay
him up.
Eric
It says he
Dubay.
took him up on a high mountain and showed him all the
Yeah.
kingdoms of the earth.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Eric Bay really he does a great job. But unfortunately they're all very long. most of his videos are very long because I've sent those to many of my friends, but they don't watch it. I know because it's too long.
One of his that was real long is about the World War II in Nazi Germany. That one is a mind blow.
Oh, I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
Oh well, Hitler. Okay, when after World War I, they put sanctions on Germany where they couldn't live, and the Russians, Americans, all of them that were against them, they raped their families, their moms and daughters in front of them and killed them and stuff. I mean, the year before Hitler took over, 750,000 Germans killed themselves. And the first law he passed was no cruelty to animals. You know, and I've
So
seen things where they scanned and they, the people that they ran out were the people that owned the central bank, the Jews that are the bad people, and the ones that were there in concentration camps had diseases and wouldn't leave. I mean, this is what Eric Dubay said. And if you ever, it's long and it makes so much sense because the winners of the war write the history. You know what I mean? And
right.
when I was younger, the German peoples said they say it just didn't happen like that. And the only people that had all the Nazi stuff was the soldiers that brought it back. But the people in Germany don't. That's not their narrative. They don't believe it.
So
You know
let
what
me
I mean?
ask you this question: would you say Hitler was a bad guy?
I
Hello.
couldn't hear you. It cut off. I didn't hear anything you
Oh,
said when you
would
said Hitler. Hitler.
would you say that he was a bad guy or a good guy?
Well, he wasn't a good guy. I know that.
But do you think he was the monstrosity they say he was?
No, I don't. Not at all.
I don't either. I mean, I think he was just like anybody else, like in uh
Hey,
power,
if
in
you look
power.
at their own footage, it looks like America with American flags. We did the same thing here that he did. And exactly. We're
Uh-huh.
proud of our country. We show our flag every day.
Uh-huh. I agree. I think that it's and I do not pledge allegiance to the flag, by the way. That does not mean I'm not patriotic. I love
I love my country, but I
my
don't go. I'm
country,
not
but
like you
I'm
are.
not pledge allegiance to any flag. It's a flag.
And there's an old thing they say if you were sitting in a bar next to Hitler when he was 16, what would you do? And most people say I'd kill him, but a lot of people say I'd try to talk some sense into him. But
I
you
don't
can't
think he
believe
was a
anything.
bad guy.
No, they after what they tricked him in after he was supposed to help be part of the ally, and they turned it around on him because they weren't in the central bank. Yeah, that was the whole deal. You know what I mean? Look at the
I
wars
don't.
now. Everywhere we're fighting now, there's no central bank, but there is after they get through.
Hmm. Right now, all the wars are to set up the system he was trying to fight, in my opinion.
Oh, the Rothschilds back in the day, they brought in what were they called when they had the Revolutionary War? All the soldiers they brought in like mercenaries. They got paid for renting them, and they got paid when they got killed too. Every war's been created.
Mm. It is a very, very wicked system that we live in, and it's all about power, money,
Yep,
and
it is.
control. And it's not even really about money. It's more about just power and control. To be honest,
And people get stuck on reducing population, and that part bothers because they have to have people. If there's no people, that nothing. There's no power, nothing. And I
mm,
tell people that you can control the population without killing anybody. You start giving people degrees for like knitting, and they can't get a job when they get out of college. They owe so much money. If they have a family at all, they're going to have one kid. That reduces the population without killing anybody.
and Bill Gates. The reason I think he is the epitome of wicked, and he just
I call
wants
him Bill Gates
control.
of hell. That's what I call him, Bill Gates of hell.
I call him Billy Goat Gates. Billy Goat Gates.
There you
You
go.
know.
Baphomet.
Mm, and
And
he
I have a friend, and I've been arguing with him for 2 days over that. He believes all that crap.
he
He thinks
believes
the
all the.
vaccines are going to help you.
That's sad. If you
I
can,
know.
if you look into Bill Gates for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, you'll see he's a wicked mother. He's a
But
wicked.
I could sit next to somebody watching that, and they're just sitting there with a smile on their face, like he's out to save mankind.
Yeah, man. I know. It just breaks
I
my
tell
heart.
people, I said, "How
That
much research have you done?"
kid.
And they said, "If you haven't done research, I tell them shut the fuck up." I mean, not literally, but if you haven't researched something, then you don't have a leg to stand on
No, you don't.
because you're believing what somebody told you.
Julie Martin said, "I pledge allegiance to the Lamb with all my strength, all I am." Beautiful,
Amen.
Julie.
That's like Joe Awesome one. You know, everybody went off on him, and me and Jackie, for her and Fox, she went up there. We used to talk a lot on the phone and stuff, and he was he's the greatest. I like him. A lot of people didn't, but
Who
he
is
was
it?
off. Joe Awesome one,
Oh yeah.
and he got off YouTube, and I mean, he you can help people. You have to be there and fellowship for each other, and you can support people and keep them going when they're down and out, and bring them right back out of it. You know what I mean? I try to do it every day, if I can.
I Same here. I try to do that every day. I'm
Hey,
very
I'm
leery.
only human. I get in ruts too, and it's hard sometimes not to say what you feel, but you might be you change your mind the next day. At least I do.
I know. I'm the same way. And we all get in ruts, and we need some people to help us out of those sometimes. I try to
I
very
call them
much avoid
temporary moments of
any.
insanity.
I try to avoid any new agey stuff, though. I really do. I know that.
Yeah, I'm old school myself. I
I'm
stick
very
to the old
leery of
stuff.
new agey stuff because, and then there's a lot of truthers in our community that have really good stuff to offer, but they are leaning in that direction, and just
And
it it,
a
it,
lot of them came out with this the pandemic exposed a lot of them.
it
You
troubles
know,
my heart though, brother.
I know. I pray for people every day. I just
Because
every day you wake up, you wonder what's going to happen. But
tomorrow we could
hopefully,
be in Gestapo world.
I know if something. I'm not taking no vaccine. I've already told everybody if shit goes down, you'll see me. I'll be the first one of the names you see on there getting killed because I don't care. I'm not going to
I'm the
give up
same
on it.
way. I ain't getting nothing.
What a way to go for what you believe in. That's what everybody does.
I ain't getting no test. I ain't getting no vaccine. I don't know how
Who
to
would want to live in a
vaccine.
world like that anyway? I don't want to live in some place like that anyway.
I don't. I don't want to live in this place. To be honest.
I heard it. That's why I stay in the woods and I don't talk to anybody. I mean, I don't hear any no news or nothing except on YouTube. I don't know what's going on unless people on here talk about it. And I
I,
leave a lot of channels. So I'll be in a channel, then I'm gone because when I start getting that feeling, I leave. Something's telling me I go.
Same here. Same here. I will listen to a channel half the time and not even say anything in the chat because I'm just like,
Hey, Sasquatch is always lurking.
yeah, I'm a lurker. I am, you guys. And I will even watch your videos and not even leave a comment because
Hey, I do that a lot, but sometimes you hear things that you know, I've been places where somebody was stabbing me in the back, and most of the time it turns out to be somebody you thought was your friend.
yeah. Well, I've never had that happen, but I know what you mean. I've used your.
Jealousy breeds contempt a lot. People.
I don't have a jealous bone in my body.
No, I don't either, but people in the world do.
I mean, if some woman walked through my door and went in, gave my planted a really big kiss on my husband, I would have some jealousy. I'm gonna hurt her.
Oh yeah,
that's a
but
that's a
I was never jealous. I used to tell my ex if someone wants to raise you and my three kids, they're quite a man.
yeah yeah.
Luckily, my kids were grown when I got divorced, or I might be in jail for murder. I mean, thank goodness.
I only have righteous jealousy. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
different thing. But because even God is jealous.
Oh yeah.
You know,
A lot of people are insecure. They have no self esteem, and it's rampant. And it's horrible.
and that is what I've told many of my friends is that my husband's awesome. He he allows me to talk to many men. I'm talking to you right now, and it's like late in the evening. Uh, I do this all the time, and he doesn't have a problem with it because we are very secure in our relationship.
Exactly. That's like I'll tell people like I love them, and because I'm secure in my sexuality, and I don't think that way. You know what I mean? I don't think like that. Like Michael
Right,
Jackson, how they did Michael Jackson. He You can say what you want, but he gave more money to kids and helped kids, and he was against their narrative, and he didn't think that way. He didn't think of kids as that. I mean, that's how I think. Most of those kids said their parents did it, got them to say that stuff for money, and
I
who
agree.
knows?
I
But
don't think that Michael Jackson was a pedophile. That word. I don't think he
I mean,
was. I think he
I
was
mean,
actually a good guy.
hey, watch Shirley Temple's old movies. She's in a plane with soldiers, and she's that little and sitting on all their laps and stuff because people didn't think that way then. You know what I mean?
Uh-uh.
And now they sit and they go, "Oh my God, pedophilia," because they've been shoved in their face so much.
Yeah.
When we were young, my mom would say, "Don't gossip," and you couldn't talk about people. But now it's changed so much, and it's not hadn't been that long of an era since it's changed. Not at all.
Mm. It hasn't been that long. I know. I mean,
I
I
mean, I
know that people that do that to children have been around forever. Okay.
well, and now it's just in more.
Even the
It's more
Bible
technology,
talks
and you
about
can see it more.
it. Yeah. So it's always been around.
What I tell
So to
people, they
say
used to
that,
hide everything, and they used to hide everything in plain sight. But now they own everything: the news, the courts, so it's in plain sight and it's in your face, like ha ha,
hmm
because you can't do nothing.
it's it's right in front of our faces.
And they do it on purpose. Like, I mean, they're doing it like, and you can't do nothing
Mm-mm. Yeah, you get you nothing.
because
Uh,
they own
I
everything. They own the news,
I
especially
have
the
to.
AP.
I have a bit of a sailor's mouth. Okay. I keep
Well, yeah.
holding. I keep stopping myself from cussing.
Hey, I was in I'm a department of the Navy. I was in the Marine Corps, but and if I'm around certain people, it's like you didn't cuss around your grandparents because you just turn it off sometimes when you're around certain people. It's
hmm
automatic to me. I mean, I don't cuss unless I'm around. Sometimes though, it just comes out because it's part of getting the point
Yeah.
across.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way.
And,
And it doesn't bother me. And most people in this circle, it doesn't really bother them
no,
either. You
but
know,
you've been in those
the
chats
end
where
of,
somebody will say, "Could you not say that?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, you probably need to go to a different chat then, and because
yeah,
it's
I'm
gonna
like,
happen.
probably you need to put on your big girl panties, right?
Yeah. Uh huh.
Stop being a snowflake. We're adults here. Talk like it's okay. They're just words. Okay, people.
Exactly. Anything's
You
bad if
know,
you want it to be bad.
now if I was sitting here and I was saying something like,
I know you
I'm
don't
not
have to say it.
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but say I was like using words and trying to put a curse on somebody, literally. That's a
Yeah.
whole different. To me, that's bad. That's cussing. That's cursing. You know,
Like
because you
I say
can curse.
GD. I never say I say GD. I don't say it. I don't even say it. I've never used God's name in vain. I never say GD. I just never
Well, that's
have.
that's actually not using God's name in vain. What's using God's name in vain is when you say, for instance, a televangelist saying, "Oh, Jesus' name, y'all, I can hear you and send me $10 and I will hear your stuff." That man
Yeah.
is
That's
using
like the
God's name in
Pharisees.
vain. Okay, they're
That's like the
they're using
Pharisees praying
God's
out loud,
name
right?
to gain. If you're using God's name to gain money, you're using His name in vain. You're playing on
Yeah.
people's souls. That
Right. I
is
got
using
you.
God's name in vain. To say GD, I don't even like saying GD. Might as well say just God damn it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I say God damn it about some stuff because when I see certain things, I'm like, God damn that. Because
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
does damn it. And there's nothing wrong with saying that word, you guys, when you mean it. And it's
See,
not
that's just
using
upbringing.
God's
I was always taught not to say it. You know what I mean? By my mom and if she. I'll tell you how brainwashed people are. My mom. I said, "What were you doing when Kennedy got shot? When you heard?" My mom said, "I was doing the same thing as my mom. I was ironing clothes." We told her mom
name.
they're because they did everything the same.
You understand what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do.
Because, I mean, if I say Jesus Christ,
You don't mean it
and
like that. I know.
it, well, and I might actually mean God damn it when I say God damn it, because there are things that I know that are goddamn, you know?
Oh
God
yeah.
does damn things. and I will only use that word, those that term when it calls for it.
Appropriate. Appropriate. Yeah.
Appropriate, yes, but to be literally taking God's name in vain is when somebody is using God to do something for
Yeah. Like
monetary
God told me
gain.
that you need to heal by taking your clothes off.
Mm,
You
that's
know.
using God's name in vain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
the true term. So when people say, saying GD is taking God's name, that's not what that means.
It's yeah, like Ken Copeland, that guy.
Ken
You
Copeland
know.
is evil demon. I think. I don't
Oh, I
even think
know
he's a
he is.
human. I
You
don't think
can
he's
see it in
human.
his eyes when they ask him about money and planes. He turns to
Yeah.
Satan,
Oh my gosh, that video is creepy
isn't
AF.
it?
He's
I
like,
know,
oh, he shows his demon side there.
and it's
He really
crazy. He
does.
gets away with it.
He's not a man.
No, there's people all around us that aren't. I like what they say. You better talking. It might be an angel sitting next to you. Like a bum.
That's
That's
true.
why.
And
That's why you're supposed
also
to treat
Jesus,
everybody good.
says he warns us that even angels might come lying to us as well.
Well, yeah, and like all the Palladian crap, they say, oh, it's all demonic. They're deceptive.
You have to be use extreme discernment in all
Yeah,
spirits.
yep, and you pray for understanding from God, and you'll get it
hmm
if you're doing it, and being honest.
And I know that I don't. I used to see you in a specific chat room quite often. I don't see you there anymore, and I want to tell you, I'm still there because I love that person, and I know I have been watching her wake up for a very long time, and we have to be very patient with people because the devil has, got this grasp on so many people. We have to be
I know. I
patient
know.
for their awakening.
Yeah, I've learned a lot and learned a lot in the last year, especially.
Same here. I mean, I'm learning every day, every day.
I tell people as soon as you leave the hospital when you're born, the veil is put on you, and every day that it's not lifted, it gets heavier and heavier. And if you don't lift it when you're young, it takes someone else to help you get it off.
Mhm.
And some people just can't. People, I stand right next to somebody and they can't, and they can't see it because it's right in front of them and they can't see it.
Exactly.
And that's the hardest person to try to convince because they don't want none of it.
It's easier to be in that ignorant bliss, than to
Yeah,
wake up because it is a hard journey, and that's why the Bible says, it's a very light trodden path that I can't think of the words exactly, but narrow is the gate to heaven and wide is the gate to hell because it's easier,
exactly.
and
People
it's
take the
not.
path less resistance always.
Yes, and this is not a path that anybody wants. Nobody wants to say, "Oh, the Earth's flat," and that everything around us is a lie, and the government's wicked, and you
That's
know.
why a lot of people are angry almost because they're like, they get pissed that, they're like, ugh, I've been taught all this crap. It bothers them that they've been, lied to. Like, you ever put your trust in somebody and then you get mad because you did it again. You thought they were good and they got you. And every time that happens, I tell people, you can cut me and I'll bleed. But when it scabs up, but when it gets a scar tissue, you're not getting back in there very well.
Well, and I think a lot of people, they, when we talk to them about these issues, they get really angry because they know it's true, but they know it's true in their core, but they don't want to
They're mad at
admit it.
themselves as to they're mad at for falling for it, I think.
And then they will just go on and forget it. They,
But if you can
they
get with them and gain fellowship with other people and get that, you get like a wave of compassion that flows through that. I've been in chats where it's unbelievable. You get like goosebumps from a concert or something.
uh huh.
I mean, some things just when your hair stands on end and you got a bunch, you can change things with people.
Yes, you can. You really
There's
can. It's
there's strength in numbers.
there is,
And
and
that's
that's
what they've
another
taken us
thing.
away from each other. We can't get together and do that anymore because you can't do it by yourself.
And and I don't think okay, I don't believe in the collective like mind thing, okay? But I
Yeah, the
do
Borg.
believe yeah, I don't believe in like well, I don't even know how to explain it, but I think the more people that wake up, the weaker the
Dark
system
side.
is that
I call it the
is
dark side always.
passed on everybody, you know, and so then another person can wake up. And the more people that wake up, it's not that we're a collective, but it just makes it easier because it's breaking down that wicked,
Yeah.
dark system. And so
Well,
another person can see the truth. And so, you know, the more people we wake up, I really think they can, it's just easier for them to wake up, I guess. I don't know.
and that's why I don't like the fear mongering because, and the government keeps everyone in fear because the dark side feeds on fear and anger. It just, it does. It gets stronger with that stuff.
It does. And they feed off of that.
And people get mad when I say, I go in a chat and everything's going great. And then some a hole will come in there and start just, let's go watch all this, all the riots. And pretty soon everybody in there is kind of angry. If you can say anything, they're all just like jumping on you because the dark side's in there feeding them, you know?
Oh man, I would. Are you able to share videos?
I don't know. I've never done it before. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't want you to share it, but I'm gonna send you a link on one of your videos to that guy that
Yeah, dude.
the Bobby guy.
You
Julie
can
knows
drop it
him.
here.
Julie, you know Bobby, he's the guy that did his testimony about demons collecting the black dots, the black dot energy. Because he really part dude, he made two videos, okay? One was
Yeah.
45 minutes, and then he did a part two that was like 25 minutes, and he was talking about his personal testimony. And he got so personal in it that he literally was saying, about being
Don't you have playlists
black.
on your channel?
I do.
If I
And
find something good, I make a playlist on and put like all their stuff in there. Sometimes,
and I also show like uh, my my liked videos too, and I watched it today. He had two videos, and he got into the details basically where he was being blasted at his crotch, okay, by demons.
wow.
He's like, I had no reason
That's
to
called
be
that's a
around.
succubus and an incubus is what that is.
Well, he went into details about getting this erection and
Hey,
having,
you talk about
even
wet
though
wet dreams. Men have wet dreams. The incubus and the succubus are demons that don't have a human form, and the female, the succubus can go in at night and take your sperm, give it to the incubus, and they play with the DNA. They put it inside a woman, and the child comes out evil, retarded, and that's how they can reproduce without human form. I mean, I've studied that too. I mean,
okay,
anyway,
well, that's what I was getting at is that like, and you don't even want to be having these feelings, like,
no,
and and he said he was like I tried to think of building like a model plane, and he said he could tell it pissed them off because they were not getting the energy they wanted from him. Instead of him thinking about some naked woman or this or
oh
that,
no, I
he
know.
wasn't
And I've talked to
feeding
some
the
men too,
energy.
and they feel like they're being held down in bed by their ankles and your hands, like when you think it's a dream. You know what I mean? I've heard it
But
from
they couldn't control his thoughts, and he was
no,
thinking about anything else that they didn't want him to think about. And so he said they did not get the energy that they wanted from him. He could feel that they were pissed off at him. And because he was like, he's single, and
yeah,
he's like, I haven't masturbated for blah, blah, blah so long,
yeah,
because they feed off of things like that.
exactly. Yeah, I know. all the stuff on TV, the fear stuff, they that's their energy, their food.
It is a food, and he talked about the Bible talking about they don't dwell in dry lands, you know,
Yeah.
because they want to be where the skin is just thick, because that's what they feed off of.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know what you said made me think of that, but that guy, his testimony was very powerful to me, and then most people would say he's nuts of what he talked about, but I don't
Because
think he's
people don't have eyes to see. A lot of people, it takes a long time for them to understand.
nuts. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'm gonna send you that link because it was very powerful to me.
hey, it's 11 o'clock, and it puts it in there, and we have been a good chat. I mean, I don't get to talk like this to very many people.
I know, me neither. Uh, my husband and
I
me
mean,
have already
I
talked.
used to be really hard at it. Now I used to argue with people when I was young, and sometimes when people start talking, I just shut up because it's not worth it. When there some people,
Yeah.
you know, you're not going to get nowhere. I just let them keep rolling and shake my head and don't talk to them again.
I know.
You don't
I
have to not
know.
like people, but you don't have to hang out with them. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. I have a lot of people in my life that way. I love you, but
Yeah, time is short, and don't waste it on people. Some people don't have good in them, and you're wasting your time. You're never going to convince them, and you could be using it for someone else. You know,
uh-huh.
we're all big
Yeah,
people. You know, it's not high school anymore. Is what I tell people. This ain't high school.
we ain't in, we ain't in Kansas no more, right?
Kansas anymore. There you go. I thought of the Wizard of Oz. It has a lot of stuff related. You know.
It really does, man. It's like, oh, that's a deep movie. I know most people think it's
It
some
is.
little kid movie, but it's really deep, and it's
And the way
got
it goes from
oh
black and white to color is really bizarre too.
yeah. Apparently, it was the first color movie.
Yeah. You know, they had color movies like 30 years before they had color TV because they didn't have no way to, make color TV. And the
Yeah,
first color show was Bonanza was the first color show on TV.
Bonanza. I never really watched Bonanza.
Really? I
Mm-mm.
did. Yep, I did. There used to be this Chinese comedian from Oklahoma, and he talked like this. He goes, "I didn't like cowboys and I always to cook." They had Hop Sin on there, you know.
Yeah, I never
I
watched
remember
it.
every show. Really?
No, I think like I watched some episodes like in the past 10 years. There were like reruns on TV, but no, and
I
I
like
really,
Daniel Boone and the Rifleman and all that old stuff, you know.
I think I watched some Riflemen back in the day. Yeah,
Well, his son's name was Mark, like me, so that's good.
that
Daniel
locked it in
Boone.
for you.
All right. Hey,
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna get off. Well, let's get off here, and yeah. I'm gonna eat something. Skinny people
I
gotta
know.
eat
I will.
something.
Yeah, gotta eat sometimes, man.
Yeah, I'll probably get off here and eat and go jump in another. Hey, which chat were you saying you still go to? I mean, that was.
Oh, it was China. China Miss Jones is where I don't see you anymore.
Well, I've never been there. I only went there like a couple times, and it was. I went back on her videos and some of the stuff she said a long time
I know.
ago.
I know. I agree. And
And I haven't given her another chance yet because there's so many other people that I follow. But I
I
mean,
understand.
if you, I trust your opinion though. I just didn't think that. I don't know.
Oh, I
It was a
don't
long time
agree.
ago though.
I have a disagree with her from the beginning, and she knows that. Always tell her I go on her panel, and she's finally coming around to the idea that Jesus was a real man that walked on the face of the earth, and
Well,
he's
then
her
maybe
faith.
people like have got to her because I forgot about her even existing till you just said that.
Well, she's come a
I
long way.
really. It's China Mrs. Jones. Is that what it is? Something like that?
Yeah, I just say that because remember
Is she
back
live
when she
streaming?
thought, not right now, I don't think, but
No, I mean she does though, right?
yeah, she does. But remember back at she totally blasphemed the Bible and everything back in
That's
the
what I
day, and
saw, and I just cut her off there, and every time she could do a chat, I left.
yeah,
It just
I stuck with her, brother, because I've always known she's a truth seeker and wanted to see her find it, So I've been sticking with her for like
yeah,
2 years.
good, good. But see,
And she's
a guy can't try. If you do that when you're a guy, though, they'll act like you're trying to flirt with or something.
right.
I learned when I had a pawn shop, I would be trying to sell a woman in the pawn shop something, and they would give me their phone number, and I thought the world was great because they thought women get treated so bad when you ask to them, they think you want to date them.
Well,
I was trying to sell them something, they'd give me their phone number. I'm like, that's pretty sad.
yeah. Well, she's come a long way.
Women aren't treated right anymore.
I still don't necessarily agree with what she believes, but at least she's coming around, and I always knew she would. I don't know why.
You saw potential in her a long time ago. Then,
Yes, and I just
well, that's
can't.
good though. I'm glad you told me because that's why I asked. Because hey, I'll admit I'm wrong at any time of the day. I mean, it doesn't hurt me at all to say sorry. I mean, a while ago on my live feed, there's a guy that I met out here, and I ain't gonna go around it though. Last time I seen him though, I told him, you see me, you better run. And I just saw him a while ago, and I shook his hand. I forgave him, and it was all good.
Nice,
Just,
nice. Well,
yeah,
Julie Marvin and Parkway both said, "Good show, good chat,
and
guys."
there's Nez Lover. Nez Lover coming in at the end.
Yeah. Well,
Well, Nez, I'm sorry I missed your stream.
I'm gonna post a link in one of your recent videos to that guy, so you don't have to watch it. I found it interesting.
I will.
The testimony to me, it sounds nuts, but I think he actually is onto something. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to do this more because you get 20 hours, and then you only pay like $25 a month, and you can do this all you want. I mean, we have panels and stuff.
I don't know.
Get up there.
I don't pay for nothing, but yeah, it would be nice if more people would come up and we could have a good chat.
Yeah, you can put 10 people up there now.
Yeah, I heard that. Used to, it was like,
I want to do it. I want to do it and I want to have Hollywood Squares. I just don't know who will get to play Paul Lynn.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. There's a few of them that were light and lopers that were funny.
Yeah. Well, you go get you some food in your belly.
You too, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Much love.
I love you.
I love
you too.
You.
See you. See everybody in chat. Bye.
Love you guys in chat. Good night.